And like that, we're back with another Unpacked presented to you by the To Be Fair show. And
The GSH podcast.
It doesn't matter how
all right, y'all, we back with another one, a good one. We're gonna talk about us in the millennials. I think that we all kind of fall into space there, where we big bros, are we unks? Are we prepared to take power? What does the future with millennials in power actually look like? Or are we arrestedly developed? Are we gonna be Jim Jones in 10 years? Just trying to still look like the YNs. I don't know. It's a lot for us to unpack. You got family, music, culture, finances, religion, a lot of things. But before we get there, y'all know the guys. We missing one, but it's the three amigos. Gee, talk to him. What's going on, brother?
What's good, everybody? It's G, host of the GSH podcast, where we focus on family, friends, finances, freedom, and our future, and forget about everything else. Check it out wherever you get your pods. Just search GSH POD.
Hi. All right. A third of the To Be Fair show. Host of the To Be Fair show. Catch him riding with Benny the Butcher and Johnny P's cat. Well, no, they might have gotten repossessed now that J. Cole getting sued. Maybe we'll touch on that in a little bit. But Johnny P, talk to us, brother.
What's going on, family, man? Glad to be back. We got a good one lined up for the boys this week, so looking forward to it again. Yeah, y'all catch us here every Wednesday. Y'all see me again on Sunday, so let's get to it.
All right, fellas. I guess we would be remiss not to start off with, I guess, the biggest thing that's kind of happening. Maybe I guess you could put in the world right now. You have the hurricane category 5, if I'm not mistaken. In Jamaica, it made landfall, wild winds, wild destruction. I'll push play on this, and then we can talk about it a little bit.
Outside, you can see the trees. The pipe has popped down. There's trees. Oh my god, guys, it is absolutely terrible right here.
All right, fellas, I guess what was y'all initial reaction thoughts? And I guess I could start with G. I know that you had some questions for the Discord. I don't know if it properly got answered, but G, talk to us.
Man, just these natural disasters, man. I mean, like, it's hard. Like, if you don't have empathy for folks going through something like this, just completely out of your control, just record storm season, and for that joint to go like right over the top of the island, all you could do is just pray for them folk, wish them nothing but the best, and it's just a really unfortunate incident, man. It's honestly not too much to say on it, really. Just pray for them folks in Jamaica.
Gotcha. Did you find out if they had empathy?
I did not confirm. Never got confirmation.
Steve,
it's crazy.
What's going on? Shout out to Steve, the homie.
What up, Steve?
What's going on, brother?
Yeah, I'm good today, man. Always.
All right.
But
Johnny's gonna run. I ain't gonna lie to you. What kind of run it is? It's a wild one, but he's running. Johnny, talk to us, brother.
Again,
Do you have empathy for the people in Jamaica? Let's start off there. You've been on like an unconditional, like, I don't give a F run lately, And let's start off there.
It ain't really been that, but I do have empathy for all people in general, and prayers
Mhm.
to Jamaica. Uh, but I will say this. Fortunately, I am a little bit of a weather nerd.
Okay.
Uh, I do think as prepared as you can be for something like this, I think they were. I think
What do
they
you mean by
saw this. This was as long. This storm took a long time to get there. So I
that?
think
Okay.
as much as like they are in an island, and so I've always wondered like where you go on an island, but I think they got people to enough places and to highland, and they hunkered down. So I don't think the death toll was as bad as it could have been, or as
Okay.
bad as other times where they haven't had as much warning. Um, but this storm was the strongest storm like on record in like the Atlantic, the millibars,
Yeah,
the
I guess
wind
I was hearing
speed.
that.
Uh, and like if you look at storms, like it was like the eye was like perfect, and like you don't really see that a lot. And if you're a weather nerd, it was like one of the craziest storms. Unfortunately, they do impact people, but the
Mhm.
record breaking storm, and but prayers and shout out to not only Jamaica, it's gonna hit Cuba. Haiti done had a lot of impacts from the flooding. I think it's going to Bahamas and Bermuda too. So all the islands, hope everybody be safe out there for sure.
And the death toll is really just a small piece of it because what it does in terms of these countries who already have, considerably weaker infrastructures than what we might have here. When
Mhm.
them storms come through, you look at where the average person lives, how much money they typically earn, like
Mhm.
how much more difficult it's going to be to get earn that amount of money and to try to build the things you lose. Like
Right.
it left a lot of destruction in its path. So that's just unfortunate all around.
Yeah, I guess I don't really have much else to add from what y'all said. Very very unfortunate. Like you can kind of see some of the conditions as you even look at those videos with the roofs coming off and uh yeah, like
I mean,
this
that's
is one of
scary.
those once in
It's
a lifetime storms, and unfortunately it did hit Jamaica. Thoughts and prayers, at least for me, out to the people out there for sure. Um
I mean, it's like
go ahead.
185-mile-per-hour winds. It's like it's insane. Like I mean, they knew like the devastation because like those buildings aren't built to sustain that kind of wind. So hopefully, like, I saw the aerial footage of the houses. Hopefully, people weren't in those places and you
Yeah.
got to hire land and shelters and stuff because a house ain't gonna make it to that kind of wind, that kind of storm. It's just not.
Yeah. All right, so fellas, I guess we can now kind of steer away from like the super serious. I guess this is actually serious still, depending on who your favorite player and favorite coach is. But nonetheless, let's hop into, I don't know, maybe this is definitely one of the bigger stories of the week, or past 2 weeks, I guess you would say. The NBA is in
Today,
invest.
we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra. As you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today, former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing.
The letter of the law when it comes to gambling. We all know the letter of the law when it comes to gambling and sports gambling. And I don't want to sit up here like I'm some perfect guy. Like every now and then when I go to Vegas, I'll play some craps and I'll play some roulette, but never gambled at anybody's house. Don't know anything about poker, so I don't know what they're talking about when it comes to the Chauncey thing. But I know Chauncey. I know Damon very well. Played with Damon, so I don't want to sit up here. But I'm ashamed that those guys would put their families and their careers in jeopardy. There's an old saying in the hood: all money ain't good money. So if you're making $9 million and you're dealing in certain things, like how much more do you need? Especially if you know you get caught, you can do jail time, lose your career. put a bad image on yourself or your family or on the.
All right, fellas. I'll talk to y'all. What is y'all initial thoughts when this news came running in?
I think it's hey, to the basketball players throwing game. As a motherfucker that tried to play and played for free my whole life and tried, it's very unfortunate to see somebody just like kind of giving up and taking the integrity of the game out of it.
Yeah.
As a true as somebody who likes the game, I'll always like to believe that everybody out there trying hard and there's no shit going on, but it's kind of fuck that up. And it make you wonder, make you wonder about the refs. I mean, James Harden, if you look at his under yesterday, 20 and a half. He got 20 in the first half, didn't get another point for the rest of the second half. It
Oh,
makes
for
you
real, that
question
happened.
things. Yeah, that happened.
Yeah,
Uh,
it
it
does.
make you
It
quit.
definitely does allow more of those thoughts to seep in.
And
Um,
I think that's a bad thing. Just for the game. Like I watch all kind of basketball, so I think that's a bad thing. They talk about it in college too, so it's just something that's gonna trickle down. As for the gambling thing, I mean, people gamble. I don't know how serious. That you shouldn't be robbing from people. That's you should that especially not from your friends. But I don't think that's the worst thing in the world as far as And I wonder who else they got too. They said it was tied to the mob. I think the Gambino family or something allegedly. So I would love to see other people be put on Front Street more than just some NBA guys.
G, talk to us.
Man, all right, so the poker charge, right?
Okay.
I don't even see why that's illegal to just have a poker game. Like,
Well, I think they were stealing from their friends though,
but let's
like a private it's not the casino. It's the
but
private.
even before it was rigged, I think they were having illegal poker games. Not even the fact that the games were rigged. They were
Mhm.
having quote unquote illegal poker games, and they were stealing from their friends. You get what I'm saying? So it's really just it's really just like the government. It must have been like millions and millions of dollars, like very high stakes games with a lot of money being made off the books versus going through legal means like a casino. But I just feel like that charge is a very like you're getting charged as a criminal, but you're not really doing nothing to nobody. You just
I guess
doing
the Steve's point, he said it's
rich
just
nigga
checkmate.
shit. Yeah, it's like
Well,
it's definitely just rich nigga shit. Like so so
well,
so
I'll say this though, they could be doing it to stop something because depending on who they're taking this money from, it could lead. Because if you're dealing with organized crime and you're dealing with the mob,
sure. So look,
it could lead to something larger as
the
far as
circle is I think it's got it. That's why you got to kind of break it down. So the first thing is just the poker charge, right? So
Okay.
then you look at the other factors as well, like the fact that like who they're alleged to be in cahoots with as it relates to these games. My thing is like niggas act like they don't know how these niggas operate. They give offers you can't refuse. It's probably a reason why these niggas are doing the games if they doing the games. Like people act like Shaq talking about, I don't know, I'm disappointed they would do this to their family. These niggas might be trying to protect their families by doing this shit, thinking they can pay some shit off. You don't know how deep this shit could potentially go when you're talking about alleged folks involved. So, I,
Yeah,
I'll
and
be
that was
curious
a
to see
question
how it
that I was
plays
about
out.
to have for y'all, which I was going to ask. Do you think that the players had a choice?
well, I think in the situation that
Because
I've
what we're
heard.
talking about the mob involvement. I can see. I think the Chauncey Billups one with the poker game and the glasses. He's kind of a dickhead. Like they had
They have
a,
invisible
like a
markers.
professional poker player. This was like 3 years ago before there would have been any like murmurs or anything of this.
Right.
And he was on a podcast like, nah, the poker games over at Chauncey Billups' house, the ones that he running, is clearly rigged. The professionals are losing, and people that barely understand the game are leaving out with big,
Big
winnings.
bags.
And yeah, I think that that's his own thing, but as soon as you get these organized crime and mob families involved, I think that there's probably like a gateway, like they say like whatever is a gateway drug. There might have been like a soft gateway, but I could just only but imagine to what G was hinting at. Eventually, there's a space where you ain't got a choice.
Well, I think that's why they took gambling out of the games originally, because I think it was like the White Sox in baseball. Uh, it was
But
some
what's the
maybe
story behind that?
where the mob basically told them boys throw the game.
But they have a
Like
history in
they
gambling.
came,
They built Vegas. Like,
but
it's
what's
like,
them boys? UNLV. It's some happened with them boys, and the mob was threatening some of them boys not to do good and stuff. So I mean, there's a reason why gambling has been out of sports for as long as it was. Now, it's crazy that immediately as soon as we like let it back in, we go right back to like the same stuff that got it banned, like almost immediately. And so it's not looking good for the gambling, at least sports gambling.
G, really quickly, it sounded like you was about to say something I didn't know. So Las Vegas was built by the mob. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, basically, like they're hooks in Las Vegas. Like, you don't have Las Vegas without those folks doing what they do. It's just what it is.
That's
Atlantic
where they loaded all
City,
that money.
Vegas, like but both of these places are built like, and everybody knows it. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the more
Al Capone.
It's one of the most interesting things to me in America is how Italians have seemingly been able to move in a way where everybody knows, but yeah, people turn a blind sort of ear or head to it just to say, but it's like everybody knows.
Is it because it's more corporate thugging mixed with a little muscle? Especially inside like the past 30 years.
Yeah, maybe they've been keeping it clean. Maybe they've been keeping it clean.
Hey,
I don't know.
That's what I mean by that. Like,
yeah.
It's a lot more like clean. Is not necessarily out in the street. It's like you said. What is it? Nicosia Nostra, whatever the term is.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Johnny.
Bugsy Siegel started Vegas with the Flamingo. He was like an old school mobster, and he was wasn't Italian. I'm gonna tell you that.
You said he was or wasn't?
He wasn't Italian.
Oh, you gonna say where was he, Johnny?
He was he was another one, but he was somebody else. But if I just looked it up, and I think like we said, Italians.
He was down with the gang
Yeah,
I guess. So I'm actually like aligned with this point. I know Steve put the LOL on it, but I've from when it started being back incorporated into sports to now, I'm personally against gambling on sports because to me it's just a easy slope. Like, it's not even like a slippery slope. The slope is already there when it comes down to like the incorporation of people throwing games, whatever, is just because of the amount of money that's put on it. And I think that it just hurts the integrity of all sports because it allows the element to flow freely. And I don't know. I guess I'll toss it to y'all. I feel like Johnny, you a betting boy. I feel like we might have had like some arguments about this at some point in time. What do you think that this means for sports gambling right here?
Oh, I think it's done for sports gambling.
You think so?
Should people be able?
Man, you know how much money's being made? It's just getting started. It's just getting started for sports gambling. Like,
one or two more of these though, it might be.
They're gonna make an example out of these niggas,
but the integrity of the game, like if it's sports betting, the integrity of the game gonna be gone, and we'll just have to live with that. And like that's fine, it still be entertaining, but like we ain't gonna go ahead and believe that like
the integrity of the game already gone.
Gonna do it. Well, I'll keep on doing my parlay.
I'll
keep on hitting
fans like me and Johnny. It ain't quite going yet, but it is definitely about there.
It's like y'all know a certain players gonna get calls. It's just the refs. Certain refs gonna do stuff against certain players. Like,
it's already happened.
Yeah,
they let Giannis hot damn take 10 steps to get to the rim, like off one dribble.
It was actually legal. It's crazy. Ugly,
it shouldn't be
ugly, but it was it's legal. That's the unfortunate thing.
Shouldn't be.
But that's the NBA rules. What's his name? Shout out word of God, MDW basketball. He does a good job breaking down the rules. Hey, y'all, this isn't a basketball podcast, so I'm gonna say this and then we're gonna get off it. But there's like one NBA FIBA has different rules in high school, but with NBA, as long as you're not cuffing the ball and like your hand is on the side or over it, you could take as many steps as you want to, and the steps don't count until you hold position, which is typically with two hands, and that starts what they call the zero step. This is where James Harden kind of like revolutionized the game because he used the zero step and then took two. And that's the James Harden step back. But you have the gather, which is the zero step, and then you could take two steps. But there's a bunch of exaggerated ways that you could do it as well, which quote unquote gets trained now, where like you can take as many steps as you want. You can gather, jump stop, and then pivot through. Like it's a bunch of like weird shit now that you can do that's legal and nobody's throwing the game. But it looks awkward to the eye because it's people exploiting the rules.
Yeah, they got to get back to to me, that's that correction. If you're going to bet on games, you got to be tighter with the officiating. It can't be looking super questionable.
A nigga like Wemby only need one step. Like he too tall. Like
he only get one.
He
step.
don't even two of them motherfuckers. He need one.
Yeah. Listen. I feel you. Treat them like them. What is it? The Caucasians that went to the HBCU campuses. New rules for him. Fuck it.
Lock him up.
Lock him up. Fuck it.
Lock him up.
All right. Yeah. Did both of y'all? Yeah. How do you feel about the sports gambling thing? What do you think it's gonna mean for G? You think it's just gonna keep rolling? Is that what I got?
Too much money. Like you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. It's too much money being made. They're not gonna roll this back because too many entities are just making cash hand over fist. Now, that said, the impact it's gonna have on men and younger men specifically. Not only do they got porn at every turn, you can bet the whole thing at every turn. It's like it's young men.
Well, North Carolina,
they got it out for him.
But oh damn! Wait, does North Carolina also have restrictions on sports betting? Johnny, you know that.
So.
You
use
the VPN.
Oh, well, yeah, that's I ain't really sweating. Yeah, they ain't stopping nothing over here. But I think they just passed it for.
Listen, shout out to the VPN boys that use it to get around the corner sites, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Well, no, hey, I got it first. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was for the sports betting.
Oh, and then that got swept into it.
Hey, benefits, bro. You got to use this already on there.
Gooning and gambling. Hey, I don't know when did gooning become like the term for this?
That's some new shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought goons was like, because goons was like thugs back in the day. Like
but now they use it for like corn, which is interesting. Like when you just get into the business. But all right, all of that to say, I don't know. It's time to segue to the next meme. There's not a smooth transition to it, but shout out to matter of fact, shout out to Steve. I love for y'all to tell me at the end of this meme, who does this remind you of? But shout out Steve. Steve be in a Discord sometimes, and he got like Discord 101 earlier this week, where no matter what you put in there, you got to know the boys is going to make it a Pan-African versus FBA. It can be, something completely innocuous.
And then ask me why did I bring FBA at the center?
Word.
Right. And yeah. So we're I'm gonna push play on this, and we'll have a fun little talk.
That's right. Black man.
Black man.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. You celebrate Christmas, don't you, brother? Yes, you do. That is a white holiday.
White holiday.
White.
Black is power. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Black is power.
Lost another one. Do you feel as if this is right?
Lost another one.
Boys, you need to come join us, bro. That's right. You need to come join us.
You got the tassels at the bottom.
They got the tassels. That's all I had to
Our
do.
ancestors did not live for this. That's right. Poison. 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 You will not stop our brothers or sisters from the Constitution. That's right. That's right. I'd rather be in the cell than to be in hell. That's right. Free man. Free man. Free man. Free man. Free man. Free man. That's right. John in the window, chapter 16. That's right.
Hey, real quick, it's Johnny. This is an inside joke, but you that's what happened when you try and drive without a license. But go ahead. That's the callback 2 episodes ago.
Beneath emancipated souls. That's right. That's right.
How can I help you, sir?
I do not need help. I will assist myself. What form of payment for this, please?
Whatever is easy for you.
Is it because my skin is black? We out here bringing our people back to the law, statutes, and commandments, man. We follow rules made by white men. Damn, follow rules made by white men. You are not a sister, and you will not proceed to be a sister.
I'm sorry.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Who is your master? Who is your master? What y'all doing after that? Is it after party or something? What's your name?
Morally.
Bullshit. Why you thinking
That's right.
Oh, hilarious.
You think they filmed that in Rock Hill, Johnny?
Oh man, no, wait a minute. Wait. We ain't got no we ain't got no Hebrew Israelites down here, man. They don't come down here.
Oh, okay. I ain't know.
They don't come down here. I'd be out there with them though. I'd be, I grab my Bible.
You pull a Drewski at the end.
I ain't got no tassels though. They wouldn't do either. I ain't got my tassels yet.
Yeah, Johnny. I'll toss it to you first. Talk to us, brother. We listen. Tread softly. We done had the Israelites here at the crib.
Hey, that's what I was like.
You know what I live.
It is hilarious because like it.
You do not lay your sword on the ground, Johnny.
I will give the Hebrew Israelites this. They're a very organized group. I was impressed. They pulled up with the. I'm like, damn. Like I thought.
Hey, listen, you can't get no propaganda off on the Israelites either. Because the boys come up with like a full camera crew as well. 3 cameras, lighting.
They got the referee in New York and shit too. They got the guy giving in AI. He's like, hey, wait a minute, say this. It's tough to argue with them. It's tough to because they.
Oh no, they had a real.
They got the coordinator in the headset calling.
They got
plays.
somebody in the headset,
Oh, no, listen,
bro.
I promise you, like it was one of the more interesting podcasts that we had. Because like they already also have one guy that's only designated to read, and so like you can get in your bag and he be like, "Hey, Ezekiel chapter 9 verse da, da, da. And then he flips to it and then he says it. It's not like that very like like it's
ooh, I love that shit, bro. That shit be cold. That shit be cold, bro. I love that shit. That shit be cold to me, dog.
Oh,
hey, now listen, Johnny. Damn, I think all 3 of y'all was about ready to convert afterward. Johnny,
I had some questions for him though.
They was about ready to convert.
I had some questions for him though. I talked to him though. It was a conversation.
Yeah,
it was definitely a conversation.
I gotta go back and watch that episode. That was a good one. I feel like I gave them some really good pushback.
They was really
the guys.
They was solid though. So shout out to the Israelites. The video's hilarious though, because you see them out there on the street. They be doing that too though. They be doing that too. So that part is fun. It's all fun and games, everybody. We can all just get a kiki in and it not be nothing more. It's just a laugh.
Okay.
But it's funny. It's funny though.
Yeah, it was funny. G, talk to us.
I mean, hilarious skit. That means spot on.
Hey, listen. One thing that Drewski does, like he knows how to like tap into the essence of a thing, and like you could tell that he does his research before the skits, and he's like taking very specific moments and recreating them. Yeah, like I said, Having like he paid attention when he had the tassels at the bottom.
Yeah,
Like when you have the
attention
like
to
because
detail.
it's very important to them.
Attention to detail.
He had the one guy with the mic, and then he said something. And he had to read off that book. Like
That's right.
listen, it is indicative for sure of the guys. Shout out to the guys. They be outside though, and that's I do rock with them because of that. You sit and want to have a conversation with them, they'll pull up on you. Like we was put on as in like they came up to us from like a guy I went to school with, in which I don't even know if he like publicly brought. We kind of do it now a little bit. I think he was still in the closet at the moment. He was like an in the closet Israelite, and he was like, "Hey, my brother's at the IU, whatever. They'd love to come on the podcast and talk a little bit." And And I was like, "Crump, it's you? Well, shit, we down for it." But yeah, it was definitely fun. But again, shout out to the guys because the one thing that they do is, and I think it's something different than what a lot of other organizations and people that say words online do outside of the Nation of Islam, is that you can catch them on the corners in the neighborhoods that matter. And they're giving out those same exact speeches. You can see them over in Sugar Creek. You can see them off on Betty's Ford. You can see them at whatever the biggest event is. And they're there saying their truth. And they're willing to say it in front of whoever, and it don't matter. And like I'm always for Black people that actually get in the community, that have positivity to their message, that can help people, whether I agree specifically principled with it or not. Like if you're actually getting out there and you're helping see people, kids or adults through the way, I ain't got nothing bad to say about you for real. Outside of jokes, but yeah, ain't nothing the joke.
And I will say, Drewski had to do this one because they was mad about the NASCAR one. So I think this even the playing field too. This is a very even playing field.
He didn't just have white face on; he had like white body on.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh yeah, I don't know how he got the arms, but that shit's fucking.
Yeah. Drewski is hilarious. But yeah, again, put in the chat if that reminded you of anybody at the end, just let us know. So with that said, going to more current events, more I guess what are we rolling into fourth quarter right now? Third quarter has also been like a tumultuous time. But fourth quarter, like the end of the year review, you got to make the investors happy. And when you got to balance that book, a little bit's in the red, sometimes you got to trim the fat. And what happens when you got to trim the fat? Layoffs is coming. Recent layoff announcement. This has been big news. Shout out to G put this inside the Discord. We had a little bit of a conversation around it, but we can continue the conversation. So recent layoff announcements. These are layoffs that have happened in the fourth quarter / a little bit of the third quarter. And you have at the top UPS, 48,000 employees. Amazon, up to 30,000 employees. Intel, 24,000 employees. Nestle, 16,000. And to me, like, this is now when it gets even more interesting because like Nestle is factory. Accenture, I don't know what that is. 11,000 employees.
Insurance or something.
Okay. Ford, 11,000 employees. Novo Nordisk, don't know, but 9,000. Microsoft, 7,000.
I think they're medicine.
Okay. PwC, 5,600. Salesforce, 4,000. Paramount, 2,000. Target, 18,000. My bad, 1,800. Kroger, 1,000. Applied Materials, 1,444. Meta, 600. The labor market is clearly weakening, says this. What is y'all initial thoughts on this?
It looks like them.
I'll leave it up for a little bit.
I wonder if this is, the tariffs is, it's the roots. What they say is it's time to, you reap what you sow.
Mm.
So I feel like, a lot of time, especially with economic things, it take a while to play out. But you got to really see how, the effects is, going to play. And I think this is definitely clear indication of it didn't work. Uh,
Mm.
so yeah, yeah, we had to give them a little grace at first. We will see. But now I think once the numbers start coming in, you see, yeah, it's not a good look.
Gotcha.
I don't
G.
I don't know if I would really attribute it like our tariffs having some sort of impact on why we see this. I think that could be definitely like a variable, but I wouldn't put it at the forefront. I think these companies over the last 2 years, roughly, maybe year and a half, have shown clear signs of um, trimming the fat and boosting stockholder value in the name of efficiency. A lot of these companies made these cuts and their stock values went up after they made the announcement. So
Mhm.
the market overall, I would say
Oh,
like
shit,
when
Microsoft is
COVID,
definitely one of them.
yeah, when COVID was at its peak, there was this like, oh, like the great, like everybody was getting overpaid. There was like this growth mindset. There was a lot of free money going on, and that was what the market was rewarding. But then once that all slowed down and inflation kicked in, it's been very like conservative and tightening ever since then. And so this is just, to me, I think, more so reflective of what these companies think the outlook is of the economy in the next couple of quarters as well. And that, like I said, the tariffs could definitely be a big piece to that. But I think overall, it's more than the tariffs; it's the economy as a whole.
Yeah, and I guess like where I would say the tariffs do hurt this would be that like the tariffs is putting like a constraint on the general economy as it is, to where if you got to trim the fat a little bit more, these are going to be like some of the spaces and places that you're going to trim the fat on. But I agree with Steve in the sense that like I think a lot of this is AI and outsourcing, and there's maybe what is this 15, about 7 of these deal within tech, in positions that can be automated. Again, like I think a good majority of this, because even if you go Kroger, you go Target,
You
Paramount,
go
even the
Amazon.
factories, like a lot of these jobs and positions are getting automated. And I think Amazon, I forget, there's
They've been
somebody I
talking
know that
about their
works at it.
robots.
Yeah, they somebody I know that talks me that works at that works at Amazon, and they're projecting that the pretty much the robots are going to be taking the factory jobs in the inside the near
Yeah.
future. Um, and yeah, I think that AI is definitely one, because of there's a lot of uh medial tasks that are now being automated, and you can get the AI agents to do and things like that. But then I also think that there's a big space inside a lot of, whether you're looking at Salesforce, anything that deals with talking on phones, anything that deals with like lower levels or even higher levels of tech. There's the outsource. There's the India outsource. I'll say at my job, we've seen a lot of outsourcing happen, and it's them doing labor at a cheaper, whatchamacallit. And they don't outright say that we're going to like we're outsourcing to India. But what you do is that you find that the company that they're outsourcing to hires in India as a main hub. And it's like, oh, and then once you start getting tickets and you can't pronounce none of these names, you're like, I see what's happening here. And I think that's an unfortunate indicator of kind of what's happening with the economy. Fellas?
Yeah, I definitely see where AI, especially like the Amazon they've talked about, and UPS. I could imagine the same thing where, yeah, these robots is coming in, and it's becoming a thing. I think it's unfortunate, like timed up with the tariffs and like the holiday season. But I guess when you make these kind of decisions, it's never a good time to decide to cut 50,000 people. So like, I don't know. That's tough.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
and
like a
what I
perfect
will
storm.
say, again, like Steve rolling right now. The tough part of a lot of this is like middle management, and or if you have an auxiliary high paying job, you're typically the first ones to go. And you see that a lot too. Like I remember, like last was it last year? Once some of the rollouts was happening, like the guy that brought me in like 10 years ago, they just got rid of him. I was like, God, like he's like a pillar of this company, but it was just they had to trim some fat, and he like 3 times the salary of some of these regular people.
Well,
And you just went on a leave for like 3 months. Like he the crazy part, he had like a kid, and he was gone 3 months, but in them 3 months, they found out, oh shit, we can keep shit rolling without you. As soon as he came back, he was back for like
tough.
2 weeks. It was all right, bro. And I was like, damn,
Mm.
it's a
Now,
cold
now,
world.
now I imagine like a lot of these like upper management and the higher paying tech jobs. I imagine they do give some sort of severance package.
Oh no, you're guaranteed a severance. Severance is gonna be between like 3 to 8 months, depending on your
Months, so
company
yeah.
or something like that.
So hopefully that gets you through the
Oh no, you
holiday
get a
season.
lump
But
sum to figure out what to do with
yeah,
your
but yeah, that's
life.
all. I just hoping people
Okay,
get them jokes.
I give you the landing if you got anything.
No, man, I just think it's a perfect storm of events right now when you just look at everything going on the world stage and how it's impacting the economy, paired with, like you said, AI and how that's impacting is clearly, um, it's making these jobs tougher. It's making the jobs that you have more valuable, and it's
Mhm.
making it tougher for folks to break into some of these industries without key skill sets, man. So I would
Mhm.
encourage folks to focus on them skills, man, like the right skills. Like you see where stuff is moving. A lot of folks working these days going to be working because they know how to use the AI, or another space too, like that cloud space. Just knowing how to maneuver what's going on in the cloud from a architecture, engineering perspective. Like a lot of these enterprises can't survive without the cloud these days too. So I know y'all saw
Yeah.
like there was a Microsoft Azure outage, a AWS outage, and when these things happen, a lot of companies cripple. They can't even function.
What are you
So
talking about? Like a as in like an actual network engineer type of person, someone that
yeah,
has to do physical
But there
things
was an
that
outage a
make
couple
sure
of
that you
weeks, like a week ago.
set up the systems.
not
Probably,
even
yeah.
so much
Those are like something
physical,
that
but
be.
like
I
cloud
don't believe in
architecture. Not so much
it.
like physical, but like knowing how to set stuff up in the cloud, specifically like in AWS or Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud. Like everything's done, like the infrastructure is less hardware and more software or in the cloud. So um
Yeah, I
eh,
think I would be hesitant to tell somebody to invest their time in anything software based, because I think that it's only an algorithm away from getting figured out. That's just my opinion.
yeah, no,
Uh,
I'm talking about cloud. I'm
I would go
talking
more to
about
like
cloud infrastructure.
but that's still software based.
But you
What are you talking about? Help me understand. Maybe I'm
so
just lost.
like so like so like you're a company, you gotta have uh you gotta have like
Right.
stuff to run your company, like place to store your data, make sure you got networks to transfer your data,
Oh
like
no, I
you gotta
understand
have
it.
like all these different places for it to work, right?
Right.
Most companies, everything that they are, not everything, but most companies now, like how they function, their infrastructure sits in AWS. So the thing that makes the company function, the thing about these cloud platforms is they'll give you the service of the cloud, but it's on you, the client, to know how to maximize it for your own benefit. And so folks who can specialize in cloud architecture specifically, like these are skills that are hard to fill. Like these are roles that are hard to fill. Like when you start talking about cloud architects, cloud security engineers, folks who are hired to secure these things because they come with so many misconfigurations and vulnerabilities that, you know, it's you need to know how to use the AI to do that job is what I'm saying. It's like it's one of those types of situations.
Oh yeah, no, and I guess so. Yeah, to me, it sounds like you still kind of like talk through like a software job that will eventually get automated to where only one or two people will have that, and you will have to either be nepoed in or have like an extreme amazing resume, to where this wouldn't be something that 50, 60 people will have a job at inside one company.
Oh yeah,
Or
it's not
that,
gonna
that
be
people
50,
would go
60
to go
people,
to
but
school to necessarily even get a degree in, because it'll be such a finite amount of these hyper specific jobs, in my opinion. And where I do think I think old man spoke to it, like network administrators, like people that, or maybe we're talking, maybe I'm talking about like engineers, computer, like people that set up the networks and do like the manual
the
thing. You think that,
hardware people,
yeah,
yeah.
I think that they'll last, in my opinion, a little bit longer because of like what's kind of coming down the pipeline. And speaking of coming down the pipeline, I guess we can continue this conversation after I push play on. I got Mike Zuckerberg.
Hey everyone, I want to talk about our new effort, Meta Superintelligence Labs, and our vision to build personal superintelligence for everyone. AI keeps accelerating, and over the past few months, we've begun to see glimpses of AI systems improving themselves. So developing superintelligence is now in sight. But there's this big open question about what we should direct superintelligence towards. A lot has been written about the scientific and economic advances that AI can bring, and I'm really optimistic about this. But I think an even more meaningful impact in our lives is going to come from everyone having a personal superintelligence that helps you achieve your goals, create what you want to see in the world, be a better friend, and grow to become the person that you aspire to be. This vision is different from others in the industry who want to direct AI at automating all of the valuable work. At Meta, we believe in putting the power of superintelligence in people's hands to direct it towards what they value in their own lives. Some of this will be about improving productivity, but a lot of it may be more personal in nature. This is going to be a new era in some ways, but in others, it's just a continuation of historical trends. About 200 years ago, 90% of people were farmers growing food to survive. Today, fewer than 2% grow all of our food. Advances in technology have freed much of humanity to focus less on subsistence and more on the pursuits that we choose. And at each step along the way, most people have decided to use their newfound productivity to spend more time on creativity, culture, relationships, and
All right, we got to get that deep into it, but fellas, I'll toss it back to y'all. Given where we was just at in the conversation.
I mean, it sounds good. I've typically not been the one that's been like anti AI for the most part, but
Mhm.
this sounds like just a way to like. It sounds sort of like surveillance. It just sounds like they just know all the things you want to do and just like have like just super, access to all your information.
They're gonna cripple
And
niggas from thinking. It's gonna be
and,
crazy.
and, and do with that. And so like I'm not necessarily like anti AI, but like I don't like the way he explained that. I ain't that ain't sound good. That sound like I don't like that.
Hey,
That
listen, you know
sound
what's gonna
too.
be fire? No lie. I'm gonna just make this quick joke and we can go to G. You know what's gonna be fire is when they had the super intelligent FBA versus super intelligent. Imagine how they gonna configure their AIs. That shit's gonna be wild, boy. G, talk to us.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't agree. Like you said, man, this is the dark side of AI. This is where stuff started looking like, what's that show? That dark show, Black
Black Mirror.
Mirror?
Black Mirror.
Yeah,
Black Mirror.
exactly. So I'm definitely not with it. You know what I mean? I stopped watching Black Mirror in part because of the stuff I was seeing. So I'm definitely like not super like you gotta make sure you know your limits when it comes to AI.
Go ahead.
And here's one of my things too, as far as like how we can fight back, or at least in my head, as far as like I think our information is so valuable to these companies, and we give it away so willingly because we're so attached to these devices that, like, I think that will be our only way to fight back against like the quote unquote super intelligence or the AI, is that if we don't learn how to get back to being reliable, being independent of this technology, we will only like walk ourselves into the into the shackles.
Yeah, I don't know if we too far going on that, and I guess maybe that does beg a bit of one of the upcoming questions about like millennials or whatever. But yeah, I don't know if it's like a space to that will be unplugged at. What I would say is, and to redirect back to what you were saying with sectors, I think that there's like, to me, humanities is probably the sector right now that I think is possibly the most AI proof. I know we don't like. I know we like dragging on teachers. I think that they're gonna last for a while too. But healthcare workers, like actual people that whether you work with like special needs and things like that, like things that deal with even like psychiatrists, psychologists, like these things that deal within the human condition. I think that they right now have probably one of the longer lifespans. Of course, a lot of manual labor. I think that will be one of the later ones to go. But all of that just deals with, like, I forget what the term is, but it's how quickly things accelerate on top of each other given new technology. It's something dealing with like the acceleration rate. But I think a lot of these things deal with the acceleration rate, and I think that we're about to watch a new era of like the human I don't know, like the human living standard. And it'll be interesting to see exactly how quickly right now we quote unquote go from pre-industrialization to industrialized as a country, and just swapping that out with pre-AI to post-AI, fellas. All right, so nonetheless, I'll uh, I'll start segueing us into the main topic. Um, the topic kind of came up with off of a couple different reasons, but I think that we'll start it off fun, and then I'll ask the question, like the main topic question after that. But so for me, I was not recently. What was this? Last Sunday. Shout out to the To Be Fair show. I missed the episode because I was out with the little one, and we went to the Young Boy show, right? And like the Young Boy show was actually, in my opinion, and again, I've seen the Kendricks, Drake, Cole, whoever, like the main art, like all the big artists inside our era, Crits, the Big Sean's, the whoever. Like if you're a millennial like me, grew up in our area, I've probably seen them live. They came to Charlotte, I seen them live, right? Jeezy, I seen Jeezy in his part, like all these guys. And the
Oh,
NBA Young Boy show
don't say it.
was such a very interesting and unique like experience. And it was unique two ways, where like the first probably like 3/4 of the show, like I was just kind of chilling. My son found his friends, and they like he went down to like the little bottom area, and they was just enjoying their damn selves. So I'm just like sitting. I got I ain't gonna, it was somebody that ended up sitting next to me on the left, and then it was two women that was sitting next to me on the right or whatever. I don't know if I was the guest areas, it was probably like between 23 and 30, somewhere in there.
Bunch of single moms and
There was a single mom that had a bunch of kids right underneath me. I was like, oh shit, this is a family affair. And like around me, it was just all the activities. I think me and her might have been the only two adults in there, like adults, the one with the family. And so I'm just like sitting and I'm watching. And to be honest, the closest comparison that I can get to this concert, I think that like energy wise, and when I speak about like knowing word for word every single record of a set, the closest I've seen to this would have been Jeezy in '05, but this is inside like a small little area. This is like maybe Bojangles Coliseum, and this is like everybody that was on the floor. This is like Can't Ban the Snowman Jeezy when Trapper Diet hit, and if you was in my age demographic,
Big T,
everybody knew every single song, right? Closest comparison, but then it was like, damn, imagine that for an entire arena. Like I just went to the Kendrick concert, and the Kendrick concert, there's a lot of casuals that's at the stadium as well. So there's some people that's just there for the vibe. There's some people that know his big hits. There's some people. Hey, Fat Boy, I got an interesting question to ask you in a little bit. But there's some people that are just just there. Where with the YB show,
ain't no casuals.
It was like this was my first time ever seeing like real
fans going to a YB show.
I don't even think they casual YB fan exists. Like.
Yeah, maybe I'm probably the closest to it because my son plays shit all the time. So I know maybe like 50% of the songs that he plays. So I'm just sitting there, just kind of got a decent enough vibe. But I'm just watching. And when I tell you all the memes that you've seen is every song occurrence with YB. Damn, I should have sent some of the videos on here. But yeah, like every single song is like that. And saying that to say, well, no, my bad. One last little thing. Again, like I said, I go to a lot of festivals, concerts. Like, I don't went to every Dreamville Fest. I didn't see about a bunch of people. One of the craziest things, and then I'll bring this back to the topic. He finishes his set, and I get maybe it was due to time. I don't know what it was. Like he played, like he's off the set. The lights then came on, and they're playing more YB music, in which the crowd is singing word for word, turned the fuck up. And I'm like, this shit is kind of crazy. Like, I never seen a let out be this crazy where he still got songs that they're saying like every single word of in the chamber. Like I said, it was kind of like one of the craziest, wildest experiences for me, right? So then I leave that and I'm just chilling, and I go home, go to sleep, wake up, and I'm like, damn. Everything that they say about YB is true. Like for his generation, those groups, he is the Michael Jackson of them. He is the biggest thing to them since sliced bread. And the amount of old man get off my lawn comments that I got for that was so interesting. In which is like, how dare you, right? And don't you ever compare him to Mike or what anybody else has ever done. It's no way that he's that good. His music is trash. I don't know what he be saying. He's just, and then you start getting like all the, and again, like this is like the 35-year-olds, right? They're all kind of like running down the hate for YB and how they hate it. And then I was like, damn, you know what this sounds like? When I was trying to tell some of my people, damn, Lupe rap better than KRS-One. Oh my God. No way ever. Yeah, like shut up, my Uncle Bobby. When they listen, when the old heads put on My Philosophy. Listen, it like back in that era is nothing that tops it. When some of the old heads talk about Cool G rap and Big Daddy Kane, it don't matter what you say. It don't matter. You know what I mean? Shout out Unc. When they go Nas for Kendrick, it ain't nothing you can say. And it made me be like, damn, is our generation getting there? Are we now becoming the real true old head get off my lawn guys? And so I'll ask y'all, are we inside the turning point for our generation to where we are going from big bro to Unc? What's your thoughts, fellas? That's a long story to get to there, but yeah.
Oh, the point has turned. Yeah. Like we bent that corner. Like we already on that
trash.
Yeah.
Like we at the age where we just put trash on everything.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but we there, you know. It's not, let me not say it's unfortunate. It's just unfortunate we gotta be that way. Let me say that. But we embrace it anyway, you know. It's just a part of what you gotta do.
Listen, shout out Unc right on cue. Listen, like it's certain people. Listen, KRS-One, you can't put no modern rapper above KRS-One to people of a certain age. And I listen. My thing is that I respect it. Like I get it because of what we do. It's the LeBron Jordan debate. I don't think that you can properly compare people outside of what they did in their era. Once you start comparing eras, it's like it's like a bias to what you culturally grew up on, and you'll never win that debate. Johnny, talk to us.
I do think we're there as far as just age wise. I would say I think we're a little more open than the previous generation as far as we've grew up with rap, and I feel like we are a little more open to some of the new thing. Now I think there is a just overall cultural divide where and I don't, where it's not necessarily just about the music. I think just a lot of what the young kids, represent now is where, I could see we're a little more similar. But the music, I think we're a lot more open to new music than our previous generation.
I don't think so at all. But I also, so I think that you're a little bit more of a special case because your people skip a generation, right?
Little
Because
bit
they had you a little
older,
bit
yeah.
older. Like
Yeah.
my parents listen to rap. Like my dad was a CD man inside the neighborhood. Like most of the rap that I listened to, I was grabbing off of his like CD deck.
Okay,
From
okay, so
KRS
it's a little
One all the
different.
way up
Yeah.
to Fab and Cam. Like everything that dropped new, my dad had the CD because he was making the CD. So we like that's probably like me and my dad's connection to sports and rap. But what G did your people listen to me rap at all?
Hell no. My mom
Oh,
didn't even really listen to music.
oh, well, that's just different in general. Okay,
But even when she did, it's oldies.
just
It
like
wasn't. It wasn't nothing.
It was Luther.
Yeah,
is your
it was
mother a
like the
little old?
oldies
Like
channel.
is your
Boomer.
boomer? Let me look at that age. What that means she grew up. I mean, she was born when
50s,
in the 50s.
60s.
Yeah.
Oh, so she had you late too, like late 30s, early
Nah.
40s.
Late 20s.
Oh, and she was a boomer.
I ain't good at math.
Yeah. I mean,
Ain't gonna-
50s is like 10 years, so not like the early, like the later.
He said it's like 10 years.
Oh, so what like 60, 52, 53 or something like that.
He said the 50s is like 10 years.
But if she no listen, if she okay, yeah, if she was born in the 50s, well, yeah, she had to been like right there on the edge of 29 when she had you.
She was like right there on the edge.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, but none of my aunts, uncles, but like I had older cousins. Like my older brother introduced me to, I won't say introduced me to rap, but I learned rap through my older brothers. Like like stealing their stuff, listening to their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an older brother who showed me Fruity Loops for the first time. I think I was in like middle school.
What a time.
You know what I'm saying? He was a huge Wu-Tang guy, so he would put me on to like them old Wu-Tang tapes that like nobody knew about in North Carolina. Like he had the Bobby Digital CD when RZA had a persona named Bobby Digital. Like
Yeah.
nigga had every Wu-Tang nigga. He had the whole every solo nigga's catalog. He had the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Public Enemy. He was big on Public Enemy too.
Yeah,
I remember
your brother's
arguing-
probably like the gap in between my brother and me, where my brother was 3'6", Cash Money, Hot Boys, and so I like that's the catalog I could run. And then they put me on to like Outkast and Goody Mob and all that, and my dad and all of them. We didn't really get the Wu-Tang though. Like that's a part of my music little thing that I had to go back and do the real research on. Because that wasn't anything that was ever played, but like the Outkast, Hot Boys, like any of that. Oh yeah, we also didn't play Jay-Z and Eminem. Those are two guys I had to do the research on too. But yeah, that's his own different story.
I remember arguing with my parents about like whether we'd still be like listening to rap now. They was like, it's a phase.
It's a trend.
Y'all, it's a trend. Y'all not still gonna be doing this 20 years from now. Well, no, we doing it. We still
Yeah,
talking.
yeah. But no, I mean, like honestly, those are the conversations that you do get now,
My mom
and
hated the language though. It was like it was a language thing. It was like it was like too aggressive, too brash of a language. You know what I'm saying? Because around the time when I'm starting to learn rap, like when you think about it, early '90s, you know, Snoop Doggy
that's wild.
Dogg. But when you were a little kid singing that song, and then you see the album cover, and you look at all this
Oh,
other stuff, it's like, and then you start learning these songs, like, and like my mom was a little more like old school, like she wouldn't let me say words like if I said, "Oh, that sucks," she'd be like, "Don't say that word," or like things like that. Like she didn't want me
You couldn't
talking a
say
certain
shut up.
way. No, you definitely can't say shut up. You just can't. Yeah, it was like
they
just
pissed
little
you off.
small
That was close
things.
to, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, couldn't say. Yo, you definitely couldn't say you was
Oh,
pissed off.
pissed. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was another. That's not even a cuss word.
yeah.
I
That's
remember trying to
that's
get
In
that one off.
retrospect, you be like, damn, why couldn't I say piss? That's
you
legit.
toast.
I
You
remember
toast.
trying to. That's not. I remember that's not a cuss word. He ain't
Yeah,
say cuss word.
even I was like, I gotta piss. She'd be like, don't say it like that. I was like, well, gotta
Yeah,
pee.
yeah. So yeah, nonetheless, like I said, I wanted to start us off with some music and segue our way into some of the real questions. We'll start off really broad, and we'll kind of work our way into it. Do you think we are primed for power or suffering from arrested development? This is speaking about millennials. This conversation to be baked into the context of millennials and how we're doing. Millennials, if we want to just give a quick little rundown of the age and time, that would be people that right now are 29 to 44. Gen X is 45 to 60, and Gen Z is 13 to 28, and baby boomers are 61 to 79. Maybe if I say that in order, it may make better sense. Yeah. 79 to 61 is baby boomers. 60 to 45 is Gen X. 44 to 29 is millennials.
Damn,
28 to 13 is Gen Z.
Yeah, we ain't
I
gotta
think.
talk about Gen Z. The
Uh,
Okay.
YNs.
I think we are primed to league. I mean, I think like the presidency. I think you have to be right at 35. So that's right in that millennial age bracket. I think we're in a weird time place where a lot of those boomers have like they're holding on to the power, and it's about whether like we will be able to take it from them. I think like if we had it, if they gave it, we could do with it. But I think
Well,
we're
I
in a
mean, I
space
guess
where
one, you still got Gen X that was sitting in between us. But two, by
yeah, I
prime
got
for power, do you think that we're prepared to lead? And if we had that, would we be able to actually do what is best and good?
See, the issue is millennials are the niggas staying at home with their parents at age 30, 32, 33.
Okay.
Like that is the generation that's
Are
getting
you
quoted.
going to Arrested Develop? That's where you going.
Yeah,
Okay.
niggas is soft, man. Like older generations, like they was out on their own, having to really survive. They didn't have safety nets necessarily to fall back on, or their parents. Even if the parents had a safety net, they was like, "You ain't staying here. You have to get up and do something." Like
Mm.
millennials was really the first generation where the parents was like, nah, you can like let me over parent you and coddle you and treat you like a baby when you an adult. So, unfortunately, millennials are also the first generation that aren't gonna do better than their parents overall. So when you look at it like that, to me, that doesn't say we are sizing up for like for being power in a position of power.
I mean, I think you're right about that. I mean, we definitely like we are this. I mean, I think the generation below us even a little softer. I think it's a natural progression. But I think we are the generation that still like understands the before and the after. So I think that gives us a lot better perspective on a lot of things as compared to like some of the Gen Z.
I'm not see
the before and
caught
after
you
of
on the
what?
camera. I seen you.
The before and after of what?
There you go.
There you go. But you said the before after of what?
You said that millennials are the ones that understand the before and after.
Of like the technology, the internet, social media, and all of that stuff. Like life is totally
Oh,
different.
Steve ran. We was about to put him
Now
up on the
he on
main
the small, yeah. But like life is totally different now, and
There you
so
go.
I think
This for
that
A Black,
changes.
so he can say he seen me on here one time for the one time, man.
All right, there
What
we
up,
go.
bro?
I'm a real nigga live in the flesh.
He really black. Look
Come
at
on,
it.
man.
I can't tell.
Yeah.
I can't tell by the skin tone if that's indigenous black.
Hey, come on. Hey, what they call it? The copper undertone. I got the copper, the FBA copper undertone.
The boy high yellow. Boy,
Right.
Penny,
Shout out to
penny
the guy.
Negroes.
Yeah. Nah, Steve look like a solid
That's
nigga.
something, man.
All right, go
But
ahead.
but,
Yeah.
but no, I definitely think we're the generation that's like live both sides. So I think that gives us a lot of like, well, it should give us a lot of perspective on like how to operate with the internet, the things that you should and shouldn't do. Like, but I think the new generation, they're so lost on the internet that they don't even have perspective of like what life could be. And I think that's what gives us the advantage. We are softer, but I think the generation below us is going to be even softer too. So I don't think that's going to change. But I think we're the ones that lived on that like.
So are you saying
I
it
would
was
say Gen X
powered
too,
or
though. I would say
I think
Gen
we
X
are. I think we are
experienced it
because
too,
of
though.
like where we grew up.
Because Gen
so
X,
you think Gen X experience what part?
because
Oh,
Gen
the
X
transition.
had
Transition.
8
Yeah.
tracks, cassettes,
Mm-hmm.
CDs,
The introduction to actual
MP3s. They've seen the technology when the technology even became technology almost. They really lived through the
Like
before and
analog to
after.
digital.
And I
Yeah.
would argue that Gen
We
X
low-key
is
was
like
born
the
into a
last
little
great
bit of that.
generation. Like Gen X is the one. Like when I say great, like a lot of the
Mm.
folks I know in Gen X are doing pretty well for themselves in terms of like how they live their lives. Like they found careers, whether it be entrepreneur, they took advantage of a crazy era of the 90s and early 2000s and set themselves up. Like
They was doing crack in the 80s.
nah, those were the
I was
boomers.
about to go there.
Those were the
I was
boomers.
about to go there.
Those were the boomers. Those were the boomers.
Nah.
More than
The
Gen
90s,
X.
the 20-year-olds in the 90s would have been Gen X.
No, think about it. Think about it.
18,
Well, I know
that'd
from my
have been Gen X. Like that's my parents' generation.
but
Like all our parents would have been Gen X. I'm pretty sure.
my parents were boomers, and I know that.
Oh damn, your parents would have been
what's the
boomers,
what's the
right?
last year for the boomers? What's the last year for the boomers?
My parents was boomers.
Baby boomers is
60 what?
61. No.
To 79.
Oh damn, my dad's over. Wait.
What's the last year for the boomers? 60 what?
61.
64.
64. So like put it like this: if you born in 64, by the time you get
Are we talking
to
about
the
ages?
by the time you get to 84, you only 20. Like depending on where you were in the country, like this is what I'm saying. Boomers really.
Oh,
like,
when I think about
20s.
like the real crack era, I think of like that 85 to 95.
But what I'm saying is,
90s
boomers were in their 20s in that era, a lot of them, and that's where they
Gen
got
X
lost
too,
in the sauce. Like Gen X was even younger than 20s. Gen X is really like the 90s type.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the 90s. Most of these people, like Unc is Gen X.
The real
Like,
crack era was the 80s, like early 80s, mid 80s. That's like peak. The Reagan years is the really.
I think
the
it also
era.
depends on where you are, though. I think it like hit like other places a little bit later. I think in New York and stuff, it was like
DC, where I know a lot of my folks from DC and around it, like it was the Reagan years for sure.
But are we saying that crack was just the early 80s? I think that like its peak was inside like
no. My
like
point is,
through
what
92.
I'm saying is that boomers definitely were impacted by the crack era, like unquestionably.
Sure. I wouldn't disagree with that. Them 35-year-olds went from coke to crack.
Yeah, I think old man got it right. Gen X was the niggas getting selling this shit. Like, yeah, it's exactly. Gen X was like the first generation of drug dealers.
That still ain't no better. I mean, like
real YNs.
Like you saw what was the movie? New Jack City.
I
that was a terrible. Like they were terrible for the community.
Pookie was also one of them guys. But all right, we got to stop. Listen, shout out to Unc and Old Man. they are going to make sure they stick up for their era. But they listen. There's still new crackheads happening right now. There's millennial crackheads. So like we can all admit that all of our eras had crackheads,
They
and I think
peel
that
Meth heads
peel
now.
heads, yeah, or some other type of head. Pause.
Fent heads or
Fent head, yeah. But no, it's still some crackheads still. I think that they're like somehow there's still like new crackheads. When people be chasing the high, I think maybe that's
gotta
like
be
the issue
damn
with it.
bad.
Everybody should
Goddamn.
just go back to doing crack, man. They should like it's a superior drug. People
Versus what
live
they
that
doing in
people live
Philly.
they people live their whole life on crack, man. 80, 90 years old.
See, I
You
don't know
do,
the 90 years old
Crack.
people that
man. I
on
know some
crack.
crackheads who lived a whole full life. These new drugs,
Mm.
the dope heads not living that long no more on this new
It
stuff.
make you take a nap. This new shit, bro. They just go to sleep.
Nah, they don't go to sleep. They be off it. I ain't gonna lie. I had a homeboy that this is one of my like really good Caucasian friends back in the day, and he told me the story, and he was one of them guys that just used to, he was down to just chase the high. That'd be the best way I could put it. And with him, he was telling me how like he accidentally smoked crack one time, right? And whether you say it was accidental or not, he said that there was at like a function, and
That's some white boy
like
shit.
they just was like, I don't know, they didn't smoke it inside like a pipe, but it was rolled up in whatever they was doing, whatever the whole
Yeah,
little
got him on
scenario
that
story.
DMX.
And he said that it was like such a new high, but when he got high, he just wanted to do shit. Like he got high, and then it just gave him a boost of energy, and just wanted to like be productive and do things. And I thought that was interesting when you talk about high, not high, but crack. Because then when you think about the stories of all the crackheads, they just
That shit
like
like
get around work
Adderall.
and do shit. Yeah.
Crackheads be doing work, but they so inefficient though. That's their issue. They just be inefficient.
I don't know if
They
I
get
had any
extra
work done by a crackhead that I knew was on crack, so I can't necessarily say that. I don't have an opinion on it, I guess I'll say. G.
On crackhead work or
Hey, you gotta what you mean by crackhead work?
that's what I'm
Come
saying.
on.
Like you're talking about, like
Well, I was actually just doing it to divert to somebody else, go back to the original topic. But when I say crackhead work, that would be mechanic work. Like we used to have people pull up, and like you can get somebody that drinks a lot that's going like do the
Now,
paving
I
inside your
had hella
backyard.
alcoholics work on my car. That's a
Yeah,
fact.
alcoholics, like it's a vibe.
Yeah.
They gonna pave your concrete. They gonna like they're fairly
And
shout out.
and they might do it just for the case. Like no cash. I got a cold case for you.
Yeah,
Can you knock
that's
this
it.
out? I got you. Yeah.
Go for 20. Like sometimes they might want some liquor on top of the beer. But yeah, no, like shout out to them. They but I don't know any people that seem like they were on crack that I'd be like, huh,
Or
they
maybe
did
was
or
drunks.
didn't do anything for me.
Maybe they was drunk. I don't know. Can't tell, but
All right, Johnny. All right, fellas. So let me ask y'all this. It sounds like G said we are arrestedly developed. Johnny said that we're primed for power. Steve, where you laying that on this before we move on?
I think the way we see each generation traverse through, their time period is directly correlated to the type of economy that they was, born into.
Okay.
So the boomers is, most standards, they born into like the best economic time period in American history. That war economy, any 18-year-old could get a job if they wanted a job. Post New Deal. So, got the brand new creation of the social, welfare state in America. So I do think you don't see arrested development from that generation because they were helped along the way to ensure that their development wasn't arrested versus millennials who literally graduate into an economy. The older millennials graduate into an economy that's in a recession, and then it take 10 years for the economy to fully recover. That's a whole different set of economic standards or economic, paradigm, which will cause the, shift in the way you see these generations, like, experience, life or whatever the case may be. You know, how can you go buy a house like a boomer could at 18 if you can't even get no job right out of college? That
Mhm.
will arrest your development, that, but that's a byproduct of the larger economy at hand. Like, that's just like context matters. And now Gen Z gonna have to deal with the ramifications of like what does AI do? Because once they, what will they do, in the future?
All right.
Gen Z is
But I guess like if I'm to like engage you a little bit, so when we look at a lot of Gen Z, and I think like even when you look at the home ownership rates, it's like it's starting to correct a little bit just because of certain people are moving out. There's more people, I mean more houses being built, XYZ. But one of the bigger critiques on Gen X is like the idea of like soft life, I guess, like them wanting to do um less with and get more per se. When we talk about what was the term that you used? Not earn it, but arrested development.
Yeah.
A lot of what a critique of Gen Z would be, or yeah, we're millennials. My bad, millennials would be is that they're arrested developed because their life is so soft and comfortable.
I,
So
and I,
whether it's like the decent paying jobs, it's like the jobs where you can, quote unquote, in Rails words, type on keyboards and kind of chill. Like this has allowed them to eventually try and be Jim Jones outside and try and mimic the YNs, the 30s, the new 20. I'm trying to, still be quote unquote cool. What is your thoughts? I don't know if that's a product
I,
of the
I
per se.
I think people had this idea that the newer generations like care more about work life balance than previous generations, when historically that's like not true. Like like the only reason we got a 40-hour work week is because older generation said this stuff that y'all asking for is ridiculous. So I think we got to kind of like put this stuff into context and say, are people soft, or are people just demanding what the natural outcome? We should be working less with the technological innovation that Americans has experienced over the past 50 years. Like that's crazy to think that in 1950s, 1940s, people was projecting that an average American work week would be 20 hours a week. And not only is it not 20 hours a week, we work more than previous generations. We also work more than most first world countries. Like, you know, so it's we actually doing the opposite. Like millennials are working more than anybody ever worked in this country. Modern day times,
Well,
you know,
explain
people under
what you mean by
like
again,
boomers.
like
This the one
the
thing.
idea
This
of
the
like.
one thing I respect about
I think
boomers.
it's a different type of work though too. Like it's like not as
But I also don't know
physically
if they work more.
enduring.
I don't know millennials to work more overtime than
So
previous
so the
generations.
average so the average worker, U.S. worker, how many hours we work per week is going up, and
Right,
we
but is that
take
in comparison to millennials though? Because of like when you take back, I mean, and
well
again, I
most
think
well
that
well most people that's working in the economy are either millennials or Gen X. Boomers are for the most part retired.
right.
So the bulk of the hours in the economy is Gen X and boomers. And this even applies to Gen X. Gen X works way more than the boomers work. The one thing I respect about the
And the
boomers
boomers,
is
you talking about
they
boomers did work? Is that what you're talking about?
then the boomers did work. The boomers understood that
Well,
leisure and family and was the most important like thing. They
That's not
understood.
true.
so
That's
so
not
so
true.
explain. Help me understand where you're
Did
getting
the
this
I don't think
boomers
information.
that's true, Steve.
did the
Because of
boomers go
like
to World War
it
II
sounded like
or were
they
they
forced a
after?
40-hour week because of they was overworking, but then 40 hours was the minimum. Well, right now the average person is attempting to work less and do and get paid more, and that's where entrepreneurship within the millennials and Gen Z is on the rise.
I think work ethic is a characteristic associated with boomers as well. Like hardworking generation had to get it the hard way.
But they didn't get it the hard way. They literally had the greatest social safety net built off a war economy.
And
That's
I
like
think
That's like people always say, well, boomers got it out the mud. No, they didn't. FDR came in after the 1929 Great Depression and he saved boomers and gave them every tool that they needed in order to create a family. We talking everything from the FHA loan, GI Bill. We talking about the Interstate Highway Program, which is essentially a job program for males who wouldn't have no job if he didn't create the program. We talking
I
like this is
I
just
agree.
like this just a misremembering of history. Boomers was literally
They were the
uh,
hippies, the Woodstock
it's not even
generation.
that they was the hippies, but the government, and this is the role of the government, and this is the problem. The role of the government is to ensure that your citizens are productive in society, and the government during that time ensured that. People just saying the boomers just was out here on some libertarian, capitalism when that's not the
Yeah, I wouldn't
facts.
say that either, for sure.
Yeah, I
But
wouldn't
I
say
do
that.
think that there was
I
still a lot of factory work and a lot of like the 40
I
It
hours
was
think
couldn't get
physical
you.
labor. It was
But,
physical labor.
but I
I'm,
think the
I'm gonna
generation
look up.
before the greatest generation. I think that's where a lot of that started after World War II. As far as like when they came back from World War II, that was like the generation before. That was a lot of their parents. And a lot of the boomers if I'm not mistaken, if I get the timeline right, they came up in the Vietnam era. And, a lot of the Vietnam era was anti-work. Like they were like, the first
And y'all are
protesters and all of that. But
and
that was those were the boomers.
Johnny is making a good point. We're confusing the silent generation
That's
with
what
the
it's called.
boomers.
Solid.
The boomers are Barack Obama. Barack Obama is a boomer.
Mhm.
Hillary Clinton is a boomer. Uh, uh, those people are a reaction to the silent generation, and they start the ball rolling on this new type of way in which
Let
we
me
view
let
the
me
world.
let me screenshot. All right, so I guess I'll put this. Yeah, I'll screenshot it and share it, and then I'd love to get your take on it. This is just like the information that I could find at the moment. Uh, where we at? Here we go. When we just look at estimated hours worked per week, and there is a downtrend, even though it's like not crazy, but 40 to 43, 39 to 41, 37 to 40, 35 to 38. This is what I seen as I'm looking through. Again, if somebody can point me to something different, I'm open to it. But this is just what I can find right now.
And look,
You
when
talking
you
about a
look at
couple
their
elections,
working
bro. You
period,
talking about
the
like
70s and
I know that.
80s, when you look at their working period, 70s and 80s, you're talking about record inflation. You're talking about record interest rates with the Fed. Like these were some crazy times in the 70s and 80s. If that's like how you're making your bones professionally. Even like if you look at like a what's that movie like up in New York, The Wolf of Wall Street, like those Wall Street dudes like in the 70s, 80s, like those boomers, it wasn't the same New York with clean streets, say, as it was today. Like if you were coming up making your bones in the 70s and 80s,
I think that's
you were
true.
I
really
think we
out in
could.
these
I think we.
streets. Like
I
Hold
think
on,
drugs
we.
was
Steve.
rampant. Like it was a
Hey,
different time.
but G, yes, it was hard to work and you had to work. But one thing, and I've seen this, that generation did have, if you look at like the stock market and real estate and everything, it was easier for them to build wealth. And like they bought like in a time where like the right before the house and the stuff, and a lot of their houses increased so much in wealth that they were able to
But
build wealth in a way
but
that like we're coming
record
up in.
inflation, record interest rates. Like it wasn't at the like given
Oh
the
yeah,
But
them,
but the
time
them arm
period.
them
but,
arm
but I'm
shits
saying
was going
but the
crazy. The
wealth
housing like
wealth
shit was getting up to like 15 to 20%.
But the houses were way cheaper, and so like you could still sell those
But
houses.
also
But the
people getting
economy
paid
was
way
wrecked.
less.
The economy was
But
wrecked.
People got paid a lot less.
but the dollar was relatively speaking, the dollar was more valuable, and this is like the
Yeah.
case. I'm not going to go down a Bitcoin rabbit hole, but the buying power of a person during that time, it was significantly more than the buying power of a person now. We talking about the dollar since that time have lost something like 90% of its value.
Right. But then when you look at home ownership, I'm just going to what Johnny point was. Like, and you look at how much a house back then cost. If you look at 1980, like I know my people, they bought their house, maybe it was like 70K in Charlotte, inside like the mid 90s. During that time, like a house, who knows what it was? Maybe it was like 50K just for like a decent house. In comparison to right now, the average house is what, like somewhere between 350 to 400, depending on what city you're in. Like that's a big jump as well, which is still to me indicative of like the power of the dollar becoming a lot less.
But I'm saying you could buy but I'm saying back then when those houses you could buy easier, you could invest in your real estate a lot easier because
I
you
don't
could
think
get
it was easier though. I think that's a
the
Well, I don't know.
misconception.
I think that maybe I would say that maybe it probably was easier to get, and I wouldn't say that.
I'm going to say it was.
My only argument was that they probably worked more.
I'm
That
gonna
was,
say it's easier. My grandmother was a divorcee with 4 kids who was born in 1944, and she bought a house by herself.
What
terrible.
like what did like did it what was
And
her
she was a
husband?
librarian. And she
Was
was
her
a
hu-
librarian, a
Oh, not
part-time
librarian.
librarian.
Part time.
but
How about the
but
librarian?
see, but this
what did her husband
We
do?
ain't putting somebody
She
on
was a divorce. She bought the house after she divorced. G.
Did she get anything out of the divorce?
No, my
but see
grandfather didn't have. My grandfather didn't have nothing. He was a drunk.
but see
Hey
another
Steve,
thing
let
that
me
comes
ask you this.
uh-oh,
Never mind. This is
stop
over the board. I
stop.
ain't gonna do
But
it.
But that's just to go to like just
but
like
see
she had no real education. She was a high school graduate and she worked a part-time job and she bought a house in Dallas.
Did she say she must have
Yeah.
saved her money? She did something
but
right.
it was easier to save your money back then if you had more buying power.
She was getting
If
9%
inflation
interest in the bank account back then.
There you
and
go.
another thing
That's what
that's
I'm
easy, it's
saying.
easier to save your
Financially
money
savvy.
and it's easier to invest and you're getting that much it's easier to build your wealth when you have that much more buying
Yeah,
power.
let's make sure that we understand. Like, what argument are we having right now? Because I think that we're having
It's
like this.
we talking about the relative ease when people
Of
say like
life.
it's easier. Like we now talking about, let's be real here. We now talking about somebody who purchased the house for $50,000 in whatever year, 75,000. Let's even give it 100. And now in 2025, they want to sell you the same house for $750,000.
And this is the fact. So let's make sure that we understand. Because I don't know if anybody's disagreeing with this point. Does anybody disagree that buying a house back then was easier than it is buying a house right now?
I don't know if easier is the right word. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with
I
that.
will say this. I will say
think
this.
it was easier.
I would say that
I'm jumping on the Johnny Steve
the
train.
role that the
Has
state
home ownership increased or decreased over that time
Decreased.
period?
Especially for like it's decreased.
Okay.
and then especially if you look at
but I
it,
think the cash. The caveat that people will put to it is that a lot of home ownership is still being held by the baby boomers, right?
and then if you
But
break it,
go ahead.
This is why I say there's reasons as to why I wouldn't say it was easier. Because if,
No, no,
something
but-
was easier, then why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't we see it
but
happen,
it's because
happen
but
more?
so
because it's a different economy, it's a different set of social policy.
But that's what I'm saying is why I
No,
wouldn't say it was
but G,
easier back
like
then versus now. Like,
But
if,
G, this is why it will be easier. In that time, one income could buy a house. The average one income could buy a house. Right now, the average one income cannot buy a house. Like
It can't even afford rent. It can't even afford rent in
and
all 30 major
that's
metros.
the issue. And this is where like Gen Z, whatever the last one is, that Gen Z. Yeah, Gen Z. It's predicted failure for them is because of what the average the average income in the average house with how the housing market is moving. Like they'll never be able to afford it. And right now, honestly, if you didn't buy before COVID, you have to be making an outlier amount of money. Like you have to be in the 10% unless you have two incomes to be able to make enough money to buy the house. Like if you look at what the average mortgage rate right now is, it's about like 3,000. between 2,000 and 3,000 if you're buying like the average price home. In comparison, inside 50, 60, 70, you could be a factory worker and you would be able to own a home.
And save.
That'd be my argument to it.
And save.
And go on vacation. Like,
I don't know if they was going on
I don't know
vacation.
about that.
I mean, you could look up the stats. Americans got some of the most vacation time saved in the like, and this is, and I think people, this is not a critique of the boomers. This is actually a praise of them because they levied against whoever was making policy and whatever the case may be to ensure that they had a fulfilled life. That the boomers and those people who lived in that generation is somebody to look back to and see how did they go about achieving the life that they live. I think a lot of people want to look back and just say the boomers is greedy, selfish, whatever. But really, we should look and say, well, the boomers had priorities, and then they ensured that the political actors who held power in the country fulfilled said priorities. FDR is elected 4 times for a reason. We got term limits for a reason because they understood as long as I fulfilled the needs of the people, he would get elected until he died. Now, Americans do not have that view. They don't respect their labor. They don't value their labor. Everybody then been sold on gig work. And now you're going to be a gig worker who goon and gamble all day. And that's all you got to look forward to in the 2025 economy.
Johnny, tell me it's not that bad.
Hey, you can goon for free.
I like the alliteration there. I like it. But
You got the gooning, gig work, gooning, gig work, and gambling. That's all they got for you.
I'm not.
Hey,
hold on. Time out. I am not a gooning advocate. I am a gambling advocate. But hey, everybody do what you got to do. But that ain't up to me. I'm good.
You don't need no gig.
Johnny, what if we went to your Twitter feed right now? What is it?
What's your
Goon
Twitter
City?
feed?
It's goon material.
I don't be on Twitter every day.
Look at him.
And then I want to know, old man, how am I got a question. How am I being elitist when everything I'm up here advocating for is for the lowest man? It's for the worker. Like your labor should be valued.
Steve, I can answer that question for him. What he is doing is what the comedians do. They do a callback. This is the callback to last week with Johnny getting pissed. And a week before that with Trey getting pissed.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Yeah. You right. I'm tracking now. I see. I remember that. Johnny said, boy, "Don't use that word, man."
Damn, Q, why you giving up my seat?
My bad, old man. I ain't finna go off on y'all like Johnny and take 5 Modelo's to the
net. Listen, I was standing. I ain't gonna lie. This is my last throwback to the YB concert. No lie, we got there an hour early and we had to stand in line for an hour and a half. This is the first time I ever went to Spectrum Arena, and you had to like the line wrapped for the doors was wrapped around both ways like this, so to where they overlap. Shit was crazy. My last thing is that this is how you know the nigga's generation. He had the YNs out there in uniform. There wasn't I don't even like saying YN, but there was not a black kid that was out there that did not have the green flag. The green. Listen, even my son, he we was trying to grab. Well, actually, his mother hit me the day before because he was trying to just drive to all the little beauty supply stores and everything's completely sold out. You couldn't find one, and Amazon wasn't delivering. Maybe it was we looked up and found the right one, but outside of the one that we found, delivery wasn't gonna make it till Wednesday. And that's how you know, it's just a different type of time. My bad, I forget why I went on that tirade.
I don't know what we were talking about.
Hey, but there's nothing wrong with saying YNs. It can be young Negroes. It don't have to be the other word.
Yeah, I tend to stay away from you rarely ever hear me outside of just
little kids
say
Negroes.
Somebody YN, cheddar, coon. I just don't use them terms.
I'm gonna call a nigga a coon now. I can't agree with you on that one, man.
I'm talking about my own personal
Coon's
thing.
A little older though. You gotta grow into coon.
So what would you call a coon then, Q?
I would just say that I disagree with him on these different little things, and then point out the things that I do. You'll never hear me use any of them terms outside of making a joke.
Take it back, Steve. You right.
What?
This dude, you too PC, Q.
Who
You
me?
gotta, you gotta
I'm
call
PC.
people out, dog. You can't be like just letting them get away with stuff.
No,
Oh
Cool.
you
yeah,
call them
listen.
elitists.
Hey,
That's
somebody up
Oh
his.
here
yeah, no,
gotta have a level.
listen. If
That's
you
his
want to
C
word for me
word.
to use, I'm
He call
gonna
you elitists.
call some rich black people that look down on black poor black people
He gonna
elitists.
call you
And this what
I,
I
elitists.
will say,
I
man.
will throw that one out there.
It don't matter how bad
That thing just as bad.
it,
I'm wording it.
it
Listen,
don't
Johnny
matter.
crashed out on. Oh, my bad. That's what I was about to do. I talked about that because I was listening to the To Be Fair show as a listener on while
Was
I
that
was
a
just standing in
promo?
line for
Was
that
that a
hour.
promo? I was
And
listening to the To Be Fair show. Was that a
yeah,
promo?
it's a quick little
Okay.
promo. But when I
We're gonna
tell
be back
you
in person this
Johnny
week.
was crashing out on elitists, like you had a couple quotables that was wild in there. It was something about like being blessed don't make you fortunate, some shit like that. Like Johnny was wilding the fuck out. And I was
Johnny
like,
P
I ain't
to
never
P.
seen Johnny in this.
It don't make you privileged. Yeah, I mean, I
Johnny
say
P
the
to
wrong
P is for
word.
the people.
Nah, Johnny was wilding out, man. We need somebody like Q that's level headed on the show. Cause when they put
I
that
was
boy
angry.
John,
I
they
was
put that
angry.
boy John in the
I
middle
was hot.
seat.
In the middle
It
seat.
was it was straight derailment off the tracks. It's like, damn, hey, Rail just looking upside his head, like, can I speak, man? Can I say
I was
anything?
angry. I was
Hey, hey,
angry.
hey, Q. Why or G? Why doesn't Q say he was listening to the G Axis Media podcast? How come he always say To Be Fair? What's going on with that?
Oh, on Sunday, like we
It
so
was us.
our channels have different shows also.
Okay,
So
but you don't
Unpacked
listen
is
to the
the
G
only one
Axis
that's
Media
a co-show.
podcast? Okay.
Yeah,
G Axis Media is a channel. The GSH podcast is the one you want to check out there.
Okay,
yeah.
there you go. I'm just trying to get both promos, you know.
He'll
I
be
mean,
crashing
I
out on
shout
that
mine
one
out at the
too.
beginning. I just shout mine out at the
He'll,
beginning every show. You know,
he'll go crash out on that one too if you need him
Make sure
to.
y'all go over there and like G page, put a like on G page too. I put a
Yeah.
like on both every time.
I
yeah,
always
appreciate
put a
that.
like on
Appreciate
both.
that.
Got to.
And Johnny, get your game up. You need a channel.
Hell nah, Johnny
Johnny,
don't need no channel, man.
listen, we need
Hey,
Johnny Channel. It has to be him in front of the camera, all for at least 6 Modelos.
every
That's when
time.
you get great Johnny. Like
The
that's
whole
prime time
split.
Johnny right there.
Every
boy.
time it'd be like academics in there.
No snaps either. No
When you come,
snaps.
listen, and the thing is that with like prime time Johnny, one week he gonna be strong over here. The next week he gonna argue like hell on the other, like the opposing side of that argument. That's prime time Johnny off like 6, 7 Modelos.
It's
Self
called evolution.
contrarian, self contrarian.
That's
That's
called
what
it's
he
Yeah,
is.
called it's
self
called
contrarian.
it's called evolution. I'm like
You
niggas
see,
act like
listen, shout out to Old Man. Old Man made it sound really articulate. He
Especial.
said self contrarian.
Yeah, I didn't want to say bipolar, so I'm taking that PC mode from you.
hey, niggas always you gotta see both sides of the coin.
Yeah. So we're gonna
Gotta
go with
see
the
both
self
sides of the coin.
contrarian today on the To Be Fair podcast. All right. When we
Shout
get
out
on the
y'all.
GC
Listen,
podcast, it's gonna be bipolar. All right.
hey, listen. I'm gonna take the PC route. Listen, announcements coming soon. We taking the To Be Fair show. We going corporate, baby. But saying all that to say, let's continue down the line of questioning. Shout out to Old Man. Shout out to Steve. Listen, we was able to see Steve for the first time live. I got a peek of Steve. Like he didn't turn the camera on. Yeah, that's a pause. But
Pause.
yeah.
Whoa. I was
like
nobody gonna say nothing about
yeah,
that.
he didn't turn the camera on the after show. I didn't get a peek of Steve. If that, yeah, we yes, that you just turned the camera on in the after show. But oh man, if you want to, but there's no peer pressure. You too old to be peer pressured.
Yeah, I don't do that.
But saying all that to say, shout out to the guys, Old Man, Steve, Johnny, G. This is a fun conversation. We still got about an hour and a half of them. We're going to start diving into some of these contrast comparison things. But first, I'd love to ask y'all, what would a future that's led by the millennials look like? G.
Mondani.
We going full socialist?
Mondani.
Is that good or bad? Yeah.
All the liberal star politicians are progressives. AOC.
But are you saying that's good or bad?
Mondani.
I mean,
I don't know if it's realistic. is what I'll say. I don't know if it's realistic.
It's bad as hell. AOC was a waitress before she got the position she
I,
had now.
I
That's
Why
not
think
a
would
this,
bad
we be
thing.
mad
I'm
at
not
that?
mad at that. I'm not mad
I
at
think
that.
this, I think
That's the
this the
common
pro.
person.
That
I
means
She had to
she's
think
get it out. She had to get it
unqualified.
out the
Yeah,
mud.
but she's been a politician for some years now, so she's gotten some
No,
qualifications.
no, oh man.
I,
How long
Listen,
has
this
she been?
ain't
How
this
long
ain't
has she
listen,
been a
this is not
politician at
Gen
this point?
X.
She got elected by
Waitresses
her
is not
people.
synonymous with prostitutes.
She got elected by her people,
Yeah.
and she's been in office now for like some years
No, it
and been
just means
reelected.
this is why it's bad for the millennials. It just means any millennial can be bought. That's what I see with the King's protest. That's what I see with all this stuff.
You don't see
All
no
of this.
millennials out there. Them white
Hey,
folk.
hold on.
them old
But
white people.
They're
It's
like they're
boomers.
old.
It's
Yeah,
boomers out
yeah,
there.
those are boomers. Yeah, those boomers out there talking about kings and shit.
I think I'm gonna
No,
give us a
bro.
little. I'm gonna give us a little more credit than that.
Uh-oh.
I think if we did happen to get to power,
Hmm.
I definitely think it would be a little more balanced
Why
because
you
we do
say
have
if?
people.
It's a matter of time. People age out, so you're gonna have
But
power.
like, but my thing is, I don't necessarily think it would be just a liberal thing because you do like. There's a lot of millennials on the right that have names and that have been moving the Candace Owens, the Charlie Kirks of the world. So I think like if millennials do get power, it would be a balance because you even
Damn, I
see
guess
like the
Tucker
political
Carlson does fall into
stars
that.
or
Yeah.
like those stars, millennials political stars. They're kind of balanced across the board.
But
So
I
I think
think
that
this
would
is
be a
the.
good representation of if we could come together. I think
I
we would
think
be more balanced.
I think we should look at guys like Nick Fuentes, uh,
Hmm.
Tucker,
Hmm.
Josh Hawley, Marjorie Taylor Greene. These are right wingers, Steve Bannon,
Hmm.
but these are not right wingers that's in the vein of neoconservatives of like the Bush era. These are conservatives who have different economic policies than previous, dare I say, populist, working class oriented politics. The
Yeah,
the
yeah.
the the type of politics that right wingers and left wingers will have in the future, regardless of how they feel about the social issues, on the economic issues, millennials across the board kind of agree on the economic issues. They this not the we not gonna tax the rich type Republican Party no more when once you get 40 and below. They don't like they just don't. That's just not their type of politics. And
But
if you go watch Nick, if you
but
go watch Nick
I
Fuentes,
don't know. But Steve, let me ask you this though. Would you say because sure this is fair? Like Nick Fuentes, he is a little bit closer to like the kill the rich guy. But one could also make the argument that the new millennial white is way more racist than like maybe its 10-year predecessor, and extremist than its 10-year predecessor. When we look at the Nick Fuentes, when we look at even like Marjorie Taylor Greene's, you will have to go back almost like 20 to 30 years to get like another version that's outwardly spewing what they're doing right now. Like I think that in my opinion, I think that they like the the new right that are millennials might be as extreme as we've seen it since the 70s.
and I'm not gonna disagree with you on that. But I think the thing is that this, like a lot of people who get, orient themselves towards talking about the pragmatic and the normal. So, like for the most part, everybody view AOC, Mom Dunny, Bernie Sanders. They view that as the extreme left, and then we view Nick Fuentes, Martin Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson as this new faction of the right. That's the extreme right. But the people in the middle, they have no valid opinion because they created the world that's led us to these conditions today. AOC types didn't have no power. Nick Fuentes types and Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene types didn't have no power. All the
Okay.
people who had power for the last 50 years are the people y'all keep saying are pragmatic and who will make the best
You said what
decisions.
we're saying. Who are you talking about? Like, are you talking about boomers? I don't know what you mean
I'm,
by.
I'm talking about the middle of the road politician, the Clintons, the
Gavin
Reagans, the
Newsom's.
Bushes, the Obamas. Those are the people that we push to the forefront who said are pragmatic and make the most sense in the mainstream. But they've created conditions in which create a space for AOC and Imam Donnie to be validated and for Marjorie Taylor Greene to be validated. If the pragmatism actually worked and they actually had good ideas, you wouldn't see the rise of these people. But the reason why you're seeing the rise of these people is because the so-called adults in the room have ruined the economy and lowered the quality of life over everybody for the past 50 years.
Hey, Steve, let me ask you a question. So what is it that you disagree with? And so just a quick comparison. If we're comparing who you just said, the AOC and Mob Donnie, in comparison to like the Nick Fuentes, Marguerite Taylor Greens, what is it that you really like? Like, how is it a comparison to compare AOC to a Nick Fuentes?
Well,
I guess I'm kind of lost in that.
The
Do you
comparison
disagree with
is
a bunch of AOC stuff?
the comparison is no, I do, but the comparison is for the most part, people consider these people outside of the mainstream line of acceptable political thought. We say that these people are too extreme and that
Inside what age demo though? Like I don't know if that's true inside of our age demo.
I mean, you could argue that, but I'm just saying the way in which politics is oriented currently, like the way.
Let's try and frame it inside, like, because like we tried to frame it inside like millennial kind of framework.
Okay,
I agree. If you move past millennial, they do look at
this what I'm saying.
Nick Fuentes is extreme, and I think our generation in general pushes back against whether it's the Bush, the Obama. Like we're kind of against establishmentarian politics at this moment, where we do feed into the left and the right.
This is what I will say. I think millennials are more susceptible to these two new lanes of politics. Right. But I'm saying, why are people always saying, I don't think we'll go down that route, when the pragmatic choices have been in power for 50 years and they've killed the economy? Why wouldn't we choose those? Why wouldn't we choose Nick Fuentes and AOC?
Right.
What have the people who?
But Steve,
what have the pragmatic people got you?
Steve, we agree with you. Like this when you like arguing into the echo.
Oh, my bad.
No, but the reason why is that a lot of people might believe that what they're talking about is unattainable.
We can say that, yes. But that's cool and fine and dandy. But people would actually believe and resonate with the message if the people who's being pushed to us, who we say their goals is obtainable. We've said that the Clintons, the Bushes, and all of that stuff is obtainable. That obtainable stuff has led to us having worse material conditions.
But what's going to happen? What's going to happen when Mondani becomes mayor? And then in 2 years, when it's time to run again, in New York's even more expensive.
We'll see. It's the United States. The United States is an experiment. We don't get nowhere by not experimenting. Like that's literally what federalism is about. The separation between state and the federal is so the states in the state, between the state, the local, and the federals, we can experiment on all of these different levels. And if stuff work out on these lower levels, then it becomes federal policy. That's the whole American dream, is the experiment. That's the project.
All right. So now, Steve, let me steer you back into the original question. What would the future that's led by millennials look like? So now let's leave out what the old heads did. We just talking about whether it's the Mob Donnies, the Nick Fuentes, or if you think it's another faction. What does the future led by millennials look like?
I think in our cohort, you starting to see a more class-oriented politics, regardless of whatever like side that you own. Like that is the crux. That is the crux. So I find it like, when you talk about identity politics, when you really think about the politicians who use identity politics and weaponize identity politics, it is those pragmatic, standard Democrats, Republicans, where the identity was that worked on boomers. So we could talk about racism and we could talk about the invading hordes of the city or whatever case may be. But the people who are cropping up, the most popular politicians now, or in particular, are politicians who not only go out of their way to avoid identitarian issues, but they make the crux of they talking point about class. And to the point so much so that Bernie Sanders talked so much about class in 2016 The Democrats branded him as racist for talking about class politics.
I know, I get that. I guess when you're saying that,
Class is a
if we're speaking, I don't even know if I put it on the left though, but I think on the right, and probably a lot of the left also, a lot of it still dives deep into identity and race politics.
I think standard in the line, Democrats do that.
True. But I think right now we see a hyper focus on that with the Republicans, in my opinion. And this, like I said, this is like at a rate that I can't say that I have ever seen or understood, where the most popular people inside the party are people that are pushing theories that one would say are white supremacists. Like Charlie Kirk was as big as you can get on the right without being elected. Like that's what he was. If you look at Nick Fuentes, he's closing in on close to like Charlie Kirk numbers. If we look at, well, Candace is kind of starting to move more centrist, but she's doing 1 million per stream every time she gets up on the internet right now. If you look at Tucker, like Tucker's not as bad on the identity, but like most of the young millennials, their whole entire shtick, especially now once they like when we start looking at the new niche that's growing, which is the Christian nationalist young, like Charlie Kirk, I want to be him guy. They all are like running and ringing a bell that slavery wasn't that bad. It's in the Bible. Black people need to get over it. Like race, let's do the what is it? The 15-30 or 30-70 thing, whatever the little comparison they do with like population and crime stats. They all run the exact same thing. And it's hard for me to say that it's not race based over there when all they seem to talk about is what black people do and why they're bad.
I would say,
but the Democrats agree that slavery wasn't that bad as well.
Again, but if we put the idea that on a baseline, we already know Democrats do this. So I agree with you. I'm not even arguing that. What I'm saying is that the rhetoric that's inflamed, that's just like fuck it, we racist, is new on the right, in my opinion. Like we knew that the Democrats was kind of like what would be the word, like it was soft racism, limousine liberalism, where like it was like we feel so bad for you because you can't help yourself.
Bigotry of low expectations.
Yeah. This right now, the Republicans are just saying black people are inherently bad, and I've never seen that in my lifetime. And these are popular people on mainstream.
I don't see why there's. To me, it's the same as it's always been. The Democrats are the ones who had us. The Confederates had us on money, like they had our images on money. Like they always went that so-called soft route. Like I just don't see a difference, and it's, I do see it going to, if it's millennials, I do see it going to more class, and to me we need to stop saying white supremacists and just call it supremacists. Because it's too many melanated people that think they superior to black Americans. It's just too many out there.
Yeah, and I want to add something too, because I think like to speak to the classism thing, I think you are seeing that amongst like there are certain things that like the right and the left agree on, like that list. Everybody wanted the list. Everybody want to hold a lot of those type of people accountable.
Them folks we can't name.
Nobody likes them. It's a lot on both sides. Yeah. Like there are a lot of things where like even these extremist things or like the far left or the far right, these millennial people are agreeing on certain. It's not a lot right now. It's not a lot, but there are certain things where you can be like, oh shit. Both of these sides can agree.
The PDF files, but they don't even agree on if poor people should all get like collective help. Like it's just not.
It was small. I said small things, bro.
Okay.
I do think you're starting to see a faction of that pop up, but it's only in like younger millennials and like these very pro-life like people, because they believe in their mindset. Well, if we create a better social safety net, then we can avoid people having to get go to Planned Parenthood or whatever. So that's a very small
that's
lane.
More of an outlier, though, right?
But and I'm just speaking to what like the people who winning, not saying that they actually doing it, because I could very much say Trump ran a very populist message. As much as we want to say it's about immigration and racism in 2016,
very populist.
He ran on a very populist message in 2016. versus Hillary Clinton, who up here telling, oh, everybody can just be a coder. And look, fast forward 10 years later, everybody can't be a coder because I could do that in Chat GPT or whatever chat box now. But
Literally,
the
everybody
the
can be a coder now.
the appeal though is the populism of the people you seeing rise up out of this current state of politics. The days of Obama is over. Obama sold us out and gave us gig work and told us that gig work and not having no benefits is better than having a real job. And people bought that.
Obama did more than that. He changed the culture of America.
Now, I wouldn't say that. I would say Obama is a doubling down of the state of economic affairs that was previously already set in America. The only difference is because Obama is black, he gets to get away with doing some of the most atrocious economic policy in America from black people because he a black dude. Like
And by that,
that.
what policy you talking about?
Like, yeah, which
So we talking about after the 2008 housing market crash, Obama
Come
had
on,
Obama had a clear decision. He could either get the money to the banks or he can get the money to the people. And then he didn't. And then to not even throw the people a bone, he didn't even prosecute none of the scammers post 2008. He didn't even have the decency to prosecute none of them people 2008. And then we got to further,
he gave us
uh,
cash for clunkers.
you got to further, even Obama would tell you he's a Reaganite. He said he'd be a Republican 10 years ago. Whatever the case may be. But he ran as a progressive populist candidate and he won. That's the reality of it. So I do think millennials have a better politic than previously. Like that racial upliftment shit, that you can have that. That's for the birds. I don't care if you blackface in hot place.
No, I get it. I just don't know that to be the sentiment of, and I agree with you, but I don't know that to be the sentiment of what's happening currently in America when we look at what the discourse of millennial mid 30s and down conversations end up being. I think that the great replacement theory with white people and white men specifically is its own thing. The anti-DEI and like these conversations are really, really big. On the black side of it, we see a hyper focus on identity as well.
But
Where
even if you go look at the black portion of it though, and if you go look at the past 3 elections, the under 40 black vote didn't vote for the person who ran on identity. If we speaking specifically for our cohort, our cohort voted for Bernie Sanders.
Oh, you talking about like Democratic primaries?
I do believe there is an identity.
I understand.
That was
Like,
a long
again,
time ago, though.
so-
You talking about Bernie?
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a whole
20
different
East,
America.
maybe. But
You didn't get to vote for the last one though.
and again, like that's us, and maybe this is also true. 2020 or 2020.
But even Biden, but he won the under 40 black vote against Biden.
Yeah, but that's I think we all understand that Bernie Sanders' politics in itself is, and I mean he's similar to AOC where like they can campaign in red country and still bring out stadiums full because of the populist message and the idea of like appealing to the common man. Like I get it. Like I'm not disagreeing or arguing with you on that. What I'm speaking to is that there has been an inflammation, especially over like the past 5 years. Especially we just start kind of moving into like the last 3 of racial identity politics on explicitly if we go males in America. And if we're ignoring that, to me, I think like we're ignoring the elephant in the room. Whether we want to go to Charleston, if we want to go to like all the black identity movements, like all of these things aren't happening in a bubble in itself.
Yeah, they're a byproduct of the decaying economy. I agree to that. I agree to that.
All right. Go ahead.
No, that's it.
Yeah, my bad. Did everybody answer the question?
I don't know. I
I don't
disagree
know,
that.
man. Y'all
Are
just
we?
y'all start filibustering when I start talking.
I
Nah,
disagree that.
we ain't
I just
filibustering. Listen.
I
Oh,
just I
hey,
just
Steve, I ain't gonna lie. We heard you bring it back to them old establishment Democrats and Republicans a couple times.
my bad, my bad. But I especially when people start talking about what's extreme politics, I
Mhm.
find it strange that people think Bernie Sanders is extreme politics, but his politics are not even further
But
left than Martin Luther King's.
I get you. But Steve, you also have to like give you use the sample size of the room. The room doesn't think his politics was extreme.
Yeah.
Johnny,
Okay.
like you voted for him in primary, didn't you, Johnny?
Who, Bernie?
Yeah.
Hell no. Johnny voted for
Oh, he might have went public.
Johnny
Shout out,
said he
Real.
wrote
I know.
Larry.
I voted for Bernie.
Johnny
I
wrote
didn't
Larry
hear.
Eldon.
Oh yeah.
Who?
You wrote Larry Eldon, man, in
Oh
the
no, I
Yeah,
primary.
ain't. No, I
he
ain't.
did whatever that gorilla was that people was doing. That's what that was.
Harambe.
And then
Right.
it's
Harambe.
also funny. The most popular president in the history of America was they called him a communist for 16 years. They're like,
Who?
I just don't get a people.
Steve, we listen. We got to move Steve off of talking about
My
them
bad,
old
I'm gone.
the old white presidents. Steve, like he got a book on him, and
They're not all
and,
white. They're
my bad,
Melungeon too. Melungeon president.
And Obama, the old whites and Obama, the
Hey man, he like
establishmentarian.
his
And the
history, man.
Melungeon.
I like a
white.
history
I,
lesson.
I like my
But
history. I like my
Obama
history.
was white.
I like
yeah, for
history.
sure. Talk to us. What do you think the future led by millennials would be?
It's crazy because you know what I'm saying. It is because the thing is that eventually y'all gonna have to take over anyway. But
Mm-hmm.
also, it's like this right here. You have so many whites that's opposing because of your generation, the black Americans in your generation stepped their game up so far that it scares them. It scares them that you guys, you know what I'm saying, y'all had to think forward and the money that you guys are making and the different ways that you are making money and you know what I'm saying, you guys are more intelligent than the average white boys y'all age, and it's the truth. They had everything because what we all call them nepo babies or something like that or whatever. They
Mm-hmm.
are they were given everything they had, everything y'all worked for, and showed them and proved everything that y'all have, and y'all are the true future. It's not the
But,
white
but
boys. That's why they so scared because
this is
you
not
guys
new
are.
though.
You said it's not new.
No, it's always been like that. That's why they have a
It
system in
hasn't.
place to keep us down.
It was it, but right now they can't. They can't
Yeah,
keep.
because
They can't
technology is
keep.
moving too quick. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's nothing new, but the thing is that right now the generation that you guys are in are way advanced than you know what I'm saying. Y'all scare them. That's why it's always identity this or that or whatever, being racist towards you guys and things of that nature. And that's why it seems like it's back to the late '60s, early '70s, the way they try to treat y'all because they are afraid. Y'all fear. Yeah, it's not even the pants hanging off their ass ones that they fear. They fear y'all because y'all can buy property better than theirs. Y'all can move and maneuver around the way y'all want to, and they don't like that, and they hate that, and that's why so much racism going on with it. That's my opinion on it.
But and would you
My
say,
bad.
that racism is not about skin color anymore?
Racism, it's really not about. It's kind of not about skin color, but what it is about skin color when it comes to all the ones that's out there that's talking all this stuff. What it is more or less right now is it's a lot of classism, but they try to put classism in it, but they still afraid of Black American and especially Black American men, especially and strong Black American men with strong minded and willing to work hard and find different business ventures and things like that and move together and don't have to be out loud and do all this. But the money is growing. The money is growing and it's growing and it's growing and they are afraid of it. Okay.
Let me ask you this, old man, to that same question. Do you think that the average white person wants to be in the same class as a black person?
Before an immigrant, yes.
That's not what I said at all. And
That's
if the
how I
immigrant's
asked.
Asian, I don't think that they'll care. But do you think that the average white American wants to be in the same class as the average black American?
The average white American has always been in the same class as the average black
That's
American.
again like the idea of white superiority comes to that they're better even if they make the same amount of money. And I'm making an appeal to race by like starting with at that point because I think that it's still race based and not as much class. And this is where Trump wins. And now they're seeing like the chickens come home to roost because of his policies were detrimental to him, but because he was able to dog whistle on the racial lines, they went with him because he played on the identity trope of white rural Americans, where if I can still be better than black people, I myself can still be a better American than black people.
But Trump never said that.
Can I add
If
something?
that's what you took from it, that's what you took from it. See, to me, that's
I think
But
that
I think he's talking
Hey,
about like the
hey,
racial appeals around like welfare and stuff, which is obviously coded towards like, well, it's all black people who are on welfare. When the
if
reality of it is,
hey,
or
it's mostly
DPI or
is
every single
well, hold on,
person. If you just say,
but Steve,
if we say, hold on, Johnny, let me
Q,
finish it. And then I'm gonna throw to you.
let
Like
me
if we
finish.
say Charlie Kirk was the person that had the biggest impact on him getting elected, and what Charlie Kirk's appeal to millennials was, and then we look at what Charlie Kirk's messaging explicitly every time he stepped on the stage about black people was. Like I don't see like how we mix these things. Charlie Kirk was on stage when Trump got elected. Like this is like his messenger.
America has always been lied to. So what are we trying to say? What are you saying? I don't
Hey,
get what you.
can I answer? Can I throw in there? Because I think it's like both can be true at the same time. I think we are moving to a more classism, but like so we argue on here. I think what they're doing is they're trying to peg black people with poverty, and they're separating. If you're not in a certain level, they're trying to separate you identity wise to where you can. They make it easier, but they're still making it a class thing about the social economic.
But
They're
the
just
thing is
taking.
that like white people still are going for as long as I'm not black. As long
Yeah,
as I'm not
that
doing
is
this,
the truth. That's the
and
truth.
that's what they're getting sold, and that's why like Trump
But
can
that's
fuck
because
over
they.
white people, and like you see the farmers are crying right now,
But the
but
only
it's
reason
because they
they
got
think that.
sold a
We
Hey,
can't
hold
see
racial.
on.
his
Hey, Q.
Thanksgiving when they
Unc. Hey, Unc.
can't.
Hold on.
They
Hold
can't.
on.
I'm
Hey, Unc.
sorry.
Hold on. Hold on. I think the only reason they are doing that is because they're taking the average or whatever. Because black people, we have moved up, like Uncle was just saying, but they're taking
Right.
us and they're still pegging us as we're poor, or looking at us and putting everything as the poor. But that's still
Okay,
that's not us though. That's not like that. And
but
but
that
they're
has nothing to do with us. That means the white power structure is still selling to white America that I can get you to vote to your own detriment as long as I make you feel that you can be better than black people.
But I don't think that's gonna continue to work because they don't see anything. Like I think once
I
they start losing these
It's
jobs, I
not
don't think
like
it's
Listen,
what
gonna.
what in the rhetoric has changed about it.
can I
I'm
say
saying
one
like
thing?
like his approval rating has dropped. There's a lot of people that
the
aren't like happy
the
with Trump. A
contradictions
lot of these people like they're moving away.
And
Like we've seen the chasm in
the
MAGA
contradictions
the
in
last year. We
in
talked
this
Johnny,
about how
No,
MAGA
I don't know.
Johnny,
I don't know the
I don't.
the MAGA right to be less racist.
I I can
They're
say this
both
right here.
equally racist and always have been, and the same selling point and talking points are the same. I don't know why. So when you compared AOC and Bernie Sanders talking about the beneficial for the common man, they're not focused on the common American. They
who
don't.
they focused on then.
They focus on immigration. They don't care about the common American. They
Hey, hold
focus
on, hold
on
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. And this is why I say people gotta this is why I say people gotta do the not this is why I say people gotta do the knowledge.
Uh-oh.
Not only is Bernie Sanders one of the most staunch against open borders policies in the
No,
in,
that's
in
false.
this.
That's false.
Not true.
Bernie Sanders is the biggest pushover. That's why he quit when he ran against Hillary. Bernie Sanders has
No, he didn't quit. He didn't quit.
not
He
what
got
that
he got bamboozled. Like
That was
they
the super
no,
delegate shit.
that-
Yeah, like he
Yeah,
was winning
they
the vote.
put the
Yeah,
camera
he
on the
wanted to
ground.
make- and no, if
They
he
put
wanted
the
to make a
camera on the
statement,
ground
he
at
could
his
have ran
fucking
as
thing. They ain't
independent,
show
but he
shit.
didn't.
He
That
got
dude
cheated.
quit.
Bernie got
That dude-
cheated. He didn't
No,
quit.
he quit on the people that he said he support because he
He
did
got
not run as
cheated
independent.
with the super
quit.
delegates. He got
No, he
cheated.
quit. He
Yeah.
quit.
No, he got cheated by the
He got
Democratic Party.
Bruh,
He got.
if
he
you
got-
really serious about your business, you don't care about the party. I'm running as an independent.
Well, I
He
agree with
cares
that.
more about
He
the
should have started
Democratic
out as
Party than
independent.
running as an independent for the people he say he care about. The
No.
dude quit.
But he what he did was
also old.
he said he doesn't want Donald Trump to win,
all
and
should
he didn't
quit.
want to basically hand him
He made a
the
calculation.
election. Yeah, he made a decision, but he didn't quit. And look, I agree. If I was Bernie, I would have said fuck the Democrats after that because they shitted on him. They cheated him out of that seat.
Shitted on him,
He
bro.
earned the head of that ticket. And for me, ever since then, this is just the karma of the Democratic Party for what they did to Bernie Sanders.
They're not gonna be blessed.
I would never apologize for somebody
What they
letting
did to
something
some
up
white
their
man,
ass.
bro. We don't care what they did to
The
no
dude
white
let
man.
him. The dude, I'm trying to keep it PC. The dude let them do that to him.
You're right.
If you know what I'm talking about.
Oh
No,
okay.
but the super delegate thing, that's out of his control.
That's a party mechanism. And then if you run independent, you basically ensuring that you're gonna lose anyway. You just
I'm
doing
just
it.
trying to figure out where all my Ross Perot's at. That's what Bernie Sanders should have did.
Ross Perot is a rich dude who could fund his own campaign.
And Ross Perot had his own party as well. He didn't attach himself to
That's what I'm
any
saying.
party. But look, you got people out here like Andrew Yang trying to create his own party. You got other folks out here, like there are people out here with money trying to create
It
new
takes
parties.
a lot
That's
of
the
money.
The reality
in real time.
The reality
a lot
is
of money.
most people who vote, they might not consider themselves diehard Democrats or diehard Republican, but that's the vehicle in which the most people is comfortable voting in. And so if you know that's the vehicle in which most people are comfortable voting in and you want to win, you got to be in that vehicle. That's just a political reality.
If it's
We
Honda
not,
and Toyota, you need it.
you know, this not one of them Scandinavian countries where you can have 4, 5, 6 different parties and you can vote for 3, 4 different of them.
Hey, Steve, you know as well as I do that the United States wasn't always Republican and Democrat. There was other parties that
I agree. But the
Whigs,
Republicans and Democrats once they gain power, if you go look at the legislation since the rise of the Republican and Democrats, the Republicans and Democrats have been in cahoots to ensure from a legislative standpoint at every level to make sure that they two parties is the only ones that could be successful in the first past the post system.
message.
It's not just it's only that they exist, it's that they exist, and then with the powers that they got, they created policy that made it harder for anybody else to come behind them. So if we know that as a fact, the reality is even if I'm not a Democrat, if I was gonna run, I'm gonna run as a Democrat because that's where the people at.
Until it's not. Until we change.
Until it's not. Until it's not.
no courage, no spine, no heart. He's yellow.
No courage, no spine, no heart. But y'all get on here and freak out if somebody say AOC it might be president one day.
I done freaked out. If that's what people vote for,
freaked
that's
out
what
on
they
here
vote
over
for.
there?
Not y'all.
You just said we
You
get
said
on.
y'all.
Come on, man. Y'all know I don't mean it
You
like
speaking
that.
in
Literally,
general?
come on.
Okay. He just
All
said
right, so
y'all
I
and
fuck
not
with
y'all.
Steve. I fuck with Steve.
Let's see if we can maneuver through. I don't think maybe this will end up being like a multi episode conversation, but let's hop into finances a little bit. Did boomers sabotage us, or have we fumbled adulthood as millennials? We could use boomers / Gen X, but have they sabotaged us, or are we fumbling adulthood right now? What is your thoughts?
No, they definitely sabotaged us with the policies from the 80s and the 90s and a lot of the corporate greed.
Mind you, the boomers weren't in power necessarily in the 80s.
They're still in power.
But in the 80s, they weren't like in
So
their
who was that in
younger
the
like
poll?
20s, 30s. Like you're talking about the generation before the boomers were really the people who made
Joe
up.
Biden was still writing a lot of them. Like a
Biden
lot of
old
the,
as fuck. He
I
can't
mean, a
be
lot
a
of these
boomer.
politicians
He's
are still
silent
the same
generation.
politicians.
Boomer.
I'm saying
Biden
these are a lot
older
of
than a boomer.
politicians. We're talking about career politicians that've been
Are
there
there any
20,
Gen
30
X's in
years.
power yet? Are there any? Who's a Gen X
Yeah,
that's in
yeah.
power?
Gen X in power, yeah, that's like
Plenty.
60-year-olds.
Plenty.
No, Gen X is
But
60.
a lot of these senators,
Yeah,
60 plus, 70.
yeah, about to say, I think that Gen X goes fairly high when you look at
And for the last, I don't know how many years, we've had like definitely boomers at the top spot.
Now we've been having silent generation. Pelosi, Clyburn, Biden.
Yeah, the silent generation is holding on. Boomers
Trump-
are up there. I don't think
Trump-
it's a lot of Gen X.
Trump
gotta-
is not
Gen
boomers.
X is 60-year-olds. It's 45 to 60.
Biden's not a boomer.
Biden's silent.
No, he's a
Yeah,
silent generation.
Biden
That's
would
what
be
I'm saying.
because he's in his 80s. Like
Oh,
if you're in your
Those are the
80s,
folks,
you would be
Johnny,
a
who
baby.
made the bad shit
Oh,
that
okay.
fucked us
But
up in
honestly,
the
like
80s and 90s.
silent generation is the
The
pretty
silent
much
generation is really what set those policies in the 80s and 90s, not necessarily
Yeah,
boomers.
and they holding on.
Boomers set the policies really like towards the late 90s, early 2000s when they was really starting to step into their political, like you said, Obama, like
Clinton.
Clinton,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
And I mean, and right now we're starting to see the policies of the Gen X.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Gen X are just barely getting started.
But
Yeah,
Because
Gen
you
X
got
dead.
to think how long these people have been in
Gen
politics.
X are the technocrats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Mike how old is Zuckerberg? I
Not
guess
not
that-
Zuckerberg is younger, but like the
Like-
OG technocrats,
like
the
Bezos.
Dow gang,
Like
exactly,
Bezos.
Elon, like
Jobs.
Yeah, Elon definitely is. Yep.
yeah.
Now you-
Those
No,
folks.
I take that back. I ain't mean to shit on the boomers like that. Cause if that was the solid
Nah, we can shit on them because they done bad some bad politics too. Clinton is bad.
How you feel about Gen X?
But
Gen X ain't really had that the level of political power that the boomers have.
Gen
Like-
X been asleep. We've been leapfrogged. That's what
But
happened.
also, you got to think Gen X is a generation that was labeled with this arrested development tag as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like they got this. Yes.
Yeah,
Have
they,
you-
they,
did,
like, they
started
thought
with
that
them.
they wasn't gonna be shit either.
did you watch wrestling growing up?
They was all sad.
And you remember
in like
and you
02?
remember
In 02,
Triple
all
H
Gen
and
X was
Shawn
sad.
Michaels?
Yep.
They
Yeah.
whole stick is based
Generation.
around the idea that Generation X ain't shit.
You got to think about
Oh,
what like old school skateboard culture was.
Oh, that's what Triple X. Oh,
It was D Generation X.
Yeah, like old school skateboard culture is like
Oh shit.
it's much-
Generation X.
Okay, I get it. Oh shit, I forgot that was
yeah.
And they would and they played into the stereotype. They played into the stereotype of Gen X.
That niggas liking rock and roll back
yeah,
then
listen,
because of the wrestling theme songs.
They had
I
I remember being on the playground hitting the
I couldn't do that sucking in my house, man. You
couldn't do it at the house.
You couldn't do it
that
at the house.
switch
I'm talking
put
about
on
the
you
playground.
quick.
Yeah, you gotta take that to the
Yeah,
playground.
with Johnny, so you gotta take that shit to the playground.
Granny come in there, switch you down. You put that.
You letting that bitch fly, boy.
Hey man, I threw that
You a
sucking at
wild
my
one.
granny. I threw that sucking at my granny
Why
one time.
would you do that, though? That's
You a
wild.
wild boy.
She switched me down, man. Hey, she waited till I was asleep. She waited till I was asleep to switch me down, man.
Yeah, no,
Hell
boy, that's
yeah.
you a wild
Yeah,
boy.
nah, you
Steve.
needed that one.
Yeah, that's for character building. You needed
Hey,
character
man.
growth.
Yeah,
So
Hey,
look
man.
at that grade.
Nah, I was a baby kid. You got to think though. I'm a millennial.
He was a
Come on.
trans YN at that moment. That's
I'm a
trans
millenn-
YN behavior.
I'm a millennial, but both my parents
do-rag
Gen
with the
X.
flap out.
Just to give y'all an idea of the type of
Okay, so they was young when
You got
had
They
young
was-
parents.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Which I guess my parents both are Gen X, maybe.
yeah,
But
my-
that is bad though. Like
Yeah,
I think
my-
my mother just turned 60, my dad like 62 or 3 or something.
you know, my parents barely 50.
Oh yeah, you turned.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
He said barely 50.
Yeah, my parents barely 50.
Hey, now listen. One of my wives' friends.
My mama born in
uh,
70, 74. What's 74 to today?
Yo,
she
mama
young.
damn near
She
millennial.
younger than me. She younger than me.
Hey, listen.
Hey, she was a go live back in the day. She just violence.
Listen, Steve, you setting us up in a no man's land. We
My
can't even
bad.
make
Okay,
jokes
I'm done.
about.
I'm done.
We don't want to make jokes about your mama. That don't make
Hey
sense.
man, ain't no shame, in it, man. She
Right, you're
know
not
how she
leaving her.
was
Not
back in
leaving
the
us no
day.
choice. She did
She
not
know
leave
how
us
she
no
was
choice.
back in the day, man.
But we're not making the jokes. No.
Steve out here calling him a Thundercat. Come on,
Hey,
Steve.
she
Don't
Right.
do that.
man.
Listen, we're not going to do that. No.
That's a
I
wild
bring
word
her
to throw
on
out
here.
there,
She'll
Unc.
tell y'all, man.
Unc said Thundercat.
Yeah, I know that's that Gen X shit right there. You start calling chicks Thundercats. Oh yeah,
House.
yeah. Yeah. You
All right.
definitely did that.
So yeah, has everybody answered the question? Did the boomers sabotage us, or did we just fumble adulthood?
I don't see how y'all fumbled adulthood though.
We was
I
set
don't.
up.
I don't see. I don't
Well,
see how y'all fumbled adulthood though.
if take it just statistically, not necessarily like if you look at
No.
us, we are a little bit more of an outlier group, but
Yeah, y'all really.
like lower, like if we just say lower rates of home ownership, lower rates of family, like the things that in previous generations have been judged by.
Yeah.
Less financial stability, less career satisfaction, and tenure. Like these are the things that
Yeah.
people are probably talking about.
Okay. Yeah. Fuck y'all up, real bad. Everybody was my baby. My baby here. My baby ain't got to do this. My baby ain't got to do that. My baby ain't. My baby. My baby home. She 30 years old. Ain't
Or it could
did
have been
shit
a
with his
housing
life.
crisis.
The thing that sabotaged us.
Danny crazy.
The thing that sabotaged us is that the
So you
older,
say that we were sabotaged also. Okay.
like, because Steve talks about like the older generation and affordability. I think the difference is like even when you look at higher education, housing, all these things, the amount of debt that you would take on to try and level yourself up versus today, like how expensive that is to educate yourself or try to provide housing, like the way that they set up the system to just keep our like not even just keep us in debt, but like take the things out of the schools that make you self-sufficient, right? Like pushing you into college versus keeping the mechanics classes, the workshop classes, the trades in general in the school. They took that stuff out for our generation. They had it in for the generations prior. That started phasing out during our generation. So I feel like we got sabotaged from that front because it just set us up to go into systems in which, like, if you couldn't make it to college, you had less of a chance of doing those quote unquote American dream things because you didn't learn skills in high school that would have carried you to make your money versus generations before. If they didn't want to go to college, they could still get a skill set in high school that could get them a living to earn enough to make a living and own a home. Whereas today, we're getting to a point to where even if you go to college, you can't make enough to say earn that living. So I just feel like that's the thing that sabotaged our generation.
Can I just step in for a second? You're absolutely correct, G. Because I remember going when I was in high school, we had, like, you know what I'm saying, vocational things in the school. Like, you could, if you take this trade and you learn this trade in school for these 4 years, you got to get certified, right? When you graduate, you go straight from there to earning money. You could be, you know what I'm saying, they had everything from like barbering and being a hairstylist to, you know what I'm saying, you had like carpentry work, different things, you know what I'm saying, and you actually had skills that you learned there, you know, in school that, you know what I'm saying, once you graduated, you actually could go and have a mindset far as in working and things like that. And the housing market also, far as in what it costs to live, it went up so much. When I moved down to Charlotte in '94, I got my first apartment. My first apartment was $237 a month. I would have my apartment paid. My rent would be paid for 3-4 months at a time.
Internet. It's water.
You feel what I'm saying?
Hey, that would be nice right about now, boy.
But
Nigga said
the
honey.
That was where y'all used to be all the time, Quintel.
Oh no, listen. I know what you're talking about, but listen. I'm just pause. I'm salivating at paying rent for $200.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a
Nigga,
part
that's
of a.
car insurance. It's like a
The,
bill.
Oh my
but
god,
but what y'all all this stuff y'all
that's
describing
what a nigga a goon to right there, boy.
the
God damn.
the the removal of these programs from the school, the cost of college,
Hey,
the cost it is to go to college. That's a part of a larger political that comes out of a larger political project in that moment. So
Mhm.
post Reagan, you see a cut to education. And when you go to cut education, you cut these auxiliary programs. So when you go look at the education spending when adjusted for inflation today, we spend significantly less money when you adjust education spending for inflation than we do today. And
Right.
all of that money went to create these, whether it's the barber program or whether it's the shop program. And
that
then on the
sweatshop.
backdrop of that,
They like to
the
call it
in,
basket weaving when they are making their arguments.
the industrialized skills that you would have learned in high school, that was ruined. The prospects of that were ruined by offshoring, automation, and deindustrialization. So you get hit with a double whammy. Not only do the jobs go away, but they make college 10 times more expensive because lo and behold, go ask somebody who went to University of Berkeley in the 60s how much they spent to go to University of Berkeley, one of the most premier colleges in the country. They could work a summer job and go to UC Berkeley and
Mhm.
pay their tuition.
They also accepted more students back then. They weren't as selective.
Accepted 70% of the students back then.
Yeah, that's something that people don't talk about with higher education as much,
Oh
especially
yeah.
with public universities. The way that they become super selective when in reality they're funded with taxpayer dollars and they're there to, especially state funded schools like you're talking about, they're there to serve the residents of the state, and they become very selective without giving the state residents proper opportunities. Like you said, going from 70% to now, I'm sure they're less than 10%.
UNC Chapel Hill, if you from North Carolina and you graduate high school, they should build enough capacity for everybody in the state to go to Chapel Hill because
But
y'all tax dollars pay for that school anyway.
even outside of like
It used to be free.
even outside of like the higher educations, like I was on South Mex campus. I had to drop a car, and they had a garage at the school built so I guess kids could go and learn and everything. And I don't even think they use it anymore. It's just like just
It's
going
just
away.
abandoned.
And it's just like they had these things. They had shot class. They had all these things in schools where like kids could like college
That's
didn't
something
have
else.
to
No,
be
they had
like,
that. They had that in school too. You could come out and be a mechanic. 4 years, you come out
exactly, but you didn't have to go to
and you could.
college. You didn't
No,
have to
you
go
didn't
into
have to.
debt
That's
to earn a
you're
living.
right because
And I think that's
yeah,
the setup. And that's why they increase the cost of the houses, the tuition, all of that is to make the American dream has like slowly but surely become unaffordable. And we can see it just through like tuition, through like taking away and like just certain things where like you might not need in each policy, but if you take and look over 20 years, you're like, oh shit, they done
The
like
thing,
made this
it's
shit unattainable.
and
But
I find
but it's not unattainable. They made it unattainable for the actual American citizens.
That's what yeah, I'm saying they've made it like for the average,
But it's not
the
unattainable for
regular
the people
person,
who are not American citizens, though. That's what
because they're
I'm
the
but
saying.
top
you
10% of
nigga,
where they
what?
come
you
from.
Oh
can
man, oh man,
you
Hey,
oh
hey,
man,
Q,
I'm
he
telling
just
oh
like
you,
the
man,
y'all don't want to
FBAs with
hear
the
it.
Pan
Y'all don't
Africans.
want to hear it. I'm telling
oh
the
man,
truth. Y'all
gonna
don't want
make
to
this
hear it.
thing good. He gonna make this
no,
centered
but
around
you
immigrants.
Hey,
can go to
Hey, my
you
Did
can
bad,
you
go to
say
Taylor. I got
immigrants
community college for free,
in
right?
Texas?
I fell right into that
They
one. I
gonna
got you.
make it about them every time. I
But
Cause
isn't Catholic
that
college free?
to me that's a sideshow. To me, that's a distraction from the people who got real power. So, for example, we saying that we have a problem with with immigration in America. It's too much or it's too
No,
many.
old man has a problem.
Okay,
No, I'm
even
just
if that's
joking. I'm just
old
joking.
man,
I'm just joking.
old man say it's too much, it's too many of them. That is a political consequence of people who want to devalue the cost of labor in this country.
Mhm.
Like Republicans have played a great trick on the American populace in thinking that they don't support the free movement of people because the free movement of people means I can lower the price of labor if I get more, if I can bring in more people. Like the
Oh
state of Texas. state of Florida would die without illegal immigration.
Well, they
know
crippling
they-
right now.
we
A
know
lot
they
of
like
them
Can I
niggas
say
that
something?
was relying, them
We know they
ranchers,
like
farmers, all
Can I
through
ask
the
y'all a
border,
question?
central.
We listening
Yeah.
up.
Do you guys think that with them cutting out, like, these people aren't going to get food stamps in a couple of days? They're not going to be able to eat, and they're cutting out a lot of these things. Do you think that this has something to do with them trying to force people to working in the fields and things like that, because they're changing everything?
What field?
Think
You
it's
feel what I'm saying? Because
fucking
if
field?
Especially in the because we going up to the winter months.
Starve to work
I-
today.
I-
They like,
Yeah,
make
we
y'all
going
take
up
these
to
little
the winter
paying
months.
jobs.
But what I do think is like something that's overblown that I think is kind of like propaganda and in almost indoctrination is like this overemphasis on, I guess, like black women in this whole scenario where white people are going to be the ones that burn and loot and riot for this shit because they're the ones that's the most on it and most impacted by it. Like when we talk about these social programs, and in my opinion, I think that I don't know that once the shit get cut, I don't know the lockdown to last for more than a week after, because of his base is going to be up in arms. It ain't gonna be like black men and black women and whatever, like the memes say. His base, they already feel a way about Cole ain't came back. They already feel a way about the fact that he ain't brought back factory work. They already feel a way about that, like the farms and the tariffs, even the owners. Like this gonna be the last one to where
I think the last time I looked with his base, he's failed 16 points.
Yes,
so as the economy gets worse, as the economy gets worse, these contradictions heighten.
Yes.
And then at some point, if you say you the man in the power and you stopped all the immigrants, you did the terrorists, and you did all of this, and then my economics is still worsening. At some point, you run out of people to blame, and then that's when people will realize that the political project is built off you suffering.
Trump gonna be like, you know what?
The whole political project is you
I'm saying,
suffering.
like, how racist can you be though? Y'all out here starving.
You be surprised. You be surprised.
If you can find somebody to blame it on, it's all it takes.
It's years of indoctrination. It's years of indoctrination of the idea that the reason, because if you listen to a lot of these people, I worked in a part of the country that was like on the border of West Virginia and Maryland, so it was a little type of, them type of people, backwoods people.
Was it like Frederick?
I was in Southern Maryland, Lexington Park, California, Maryland. It's down there. They got Confederate flags at the county fair when you go to the county fair. But just in my talking to like people, these people is not so much opposed to the social safety net, but it's their idea around who they think is abusing or getting over on the social safety net. So it's be like conversations be like, well, mind you, we live like an hour or 2 hours from Baltimore. But it be conversations like, oh yeah, I would love for that to happen. But those people in Baltimore just gonna take advantage of it. And what you knew what they meant by that was black people was gonna take advantage of it. And that's just a framework in which they view the way in which stuff is distributed in this country. And it's just like
they ain't want black people
Basically,
having
saying
food
that
stamps too.
they'd rather suffer than see you have.
I mean, the only reason the United States of America doesn't have a functioning light rail system that connect the whole country is because people don't want have quote unquote people from certain parts of the city to have access to everywhere. When people give you these excuses about the terrain and this and that, China done built some stuff over a damn mountain, a train, get you to Shanghai to Beijing in 2 hours.
China be building
And so it's just like this stuff is possible, but because we understand the type of industries we got to protect, because if I build a train, oil and gas, cars, that's an industry to take a hit.
It's a dub.
It is just all this confusion about immigrants and trans and all of that. That's confusion.
No, that's not confusion.
It is.
No, it's
Hold
not.
on, let's let old man give a little bit of his spiel. I
don't
feel
really
like
have no skill.
Steve done laid out a dissertation. I just want to hear some rebuttal.
I don't know what he's talking about. And this is like, I don't know how he doesn't correlate anything to illegal immigration. Like,
But
that's the problem.
okay, this the question. This the question. Oh man,
It's
who
false.
has the power? The American politician who creating policy that facilitate the illegal immigration, or the illegal immigrant? Who's creating that policy that facilitates the immigration?
No one's saying the illegal immigrant has the power.
So then again, it's all back to what I've been saying. If we know that they don't have a power, the attack should be on the people who make said policy, because we saying they just want
that exactly, and that's the Democrats who's making that policy.
You think that?
Okay,
I suggest you go read the Koch.
It's the invisible political.
I
party
suggest
that's
you go
making
read
that.
up on the Koch brothers and one of their top policies for the past 20, 30 years, and look up who they've been donating to for the past 20, 30 years.
And since we don't have the time for me to do that research, you mind telling us?
They believe in open borders and they support Republicans overwhelmingly. if you are, this is the problem.
Wait. So wouldn't that make Republicans and the Democrats the same coin? Two sides.
We've always said that on this
That's
show.
all I've been saying the whole time. I've been saying
Listen again. All right, so
agreement right there.
yeah, I'm about to say like the way we were saying that about the Steve earlier. Oh man, it's a point that we all on here
We agree on that.
Yeah, I don't think
saying-
that nobody on here disagrees with that. Just because we critique yeah, like if we critique the Democrats, that don't mean we don't have smoke for the Republicans. And if we critique the Republicans, they don't mean we ain't got smoke for the.
I have a very specific framework in which I view the immigration problem. I view the immigration problem as a devaluing of our labor, because you can increase supply for whatever the workforce is in America, and in order to address the immigration issue, one, we need to stop intervening in countries that's caused. For example, what do you think gonna happen if we overthrow Venezuela? What do you think them people gonna do? Not flee, not run when they put a dictator in charge?
What they already have in charge.
Yes.
Maduro's not a dictator. Because if Maduro was a dictator, they would have killed him and took him out already. And he not a Western installed puppet. We could disagree whatever his politics is, but
He
not
fucking his people over though, right?
No, he not. Venezuela has been under an embargo for the past 20 years where they can't even sell their number one natural resource in the world to make no money. So people will say Venezuela is suffering from inflation or hyperinflation, but they can't even sell their number one resource on the world market due to U.S. sanctions, because the U.S. is the whole point of sanctions is to starve the local populace in the hopes that the local populace start a revolution against a leader that you don't like.
Yes.
We've done this 10,000 times. And then once the populace is upset with it, we'll get into arms and we'll do coups and whatever the case may be. And we'll install a fascist who then will throw people in the ditch and shoot people in the back of their head for the moment that they go against the economic interest of the United States of America. We've done this. That was the whole 60s and the 70s. Iran Contra first.
I was about to say, shout out to Saddam Hussein.
Come on, man.
Welcome.
We gonna fall for the trick bag again?
Yeah,
I'm not falling for the trick bag
it's
again.
It's not about falling for the trick bag. Is that how can we prevent ourselves? What is the way we can go about preventing this from happening again? That's what we're trying to get to.
That's us being on one accord and making the right demand from our politicians.
Who is us?
The American people.
But most of the people they want to have votes aren't even American.
All right, welcome to the show, Kamu. What's going on, my brother? So we're gonna spin ourselves right back into like the initial question. Shout out to our brother, old man, brother Steve. Really fun.
I think Kamu got a cut.
Both y'all got a cut.
Listen,
That boy got his ears lowered.
Yeah. Tell him no Jalen Brown over here.
Hey, they got Andes. They got Andes over there. Kamu, Andes, Wall. What kind of clippers they got over there?
Beijing.
No, man, it's not a
They use
cut, but
blades,
it's,
nigga.
No, they
Blades
use
and
big
They
blades.
use
niggas
nah,
is
they didn't
blades
even
and
use a
comb, nigga.
blade.
Cut.
Hey,
They be
G,
using scissors, blades, and a comb,
they
nigga.
didn't even
Old
use a
school,
blade,
nigga.
man. They hit this shit with a sharp rock.
Kamu get
They
his
hit
shit
this shit with a
faded with
sharp rock,
scissors and a
man.
blade. I know
Yeah,
that
y'all
for a
got it.
fact.
Y'all
That
got
was a spit up. My
I
bad.
know
Yeah,
that
y'all
for a
got
fact.
some
Hey,
spit.
I done seen niggas fade that in,
That was
pause,
my
with the
bad. That was a spit
blade,
up.
with the blade and some scissors. I seen it
I
with a
seen it
comb.
too.
I seen that in Latin America. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Nigga, they hit
For
that
real.
nigga Camus shit with a sharp
All
rock
right,
on the
fellas,
front right there,
Come
man.
on.
let's pivot back
Chill.
to it. I think right now
Hey,
y'all doing
Camus
the
went
Giannis
up to
ball,
the
50
mountains
euro
with another 18-year-olds, got him a
All right.
cut.
Okay, back to serious. We
All
just
right,
ain't
guys.
seen Camus in a minute, so we gotta get him for a
Yeah,
little bit.
no, I get it. All right, so Camus, I'll ask you this question and frame it inside the framework of South Africa and kind of like how your generation is dealing with possibly power or like progressing as a people. How old are you, Camus? You mind me asking?
Yeah, I'm 30.
All right, yeah. So you with us. All right,
Young
you
millennial.
yeah, you a millennial.
That's a little bro
All
right
right,
there.
so the conversation is based around millennials. Do you think that we are suffering from arrested development or are we primed for power? When you look around in South Africa, are y'all suffering from arrested development or are you primed for power?
The millennials.
I think that's a question. That's a huge
Uh-oh.
question. I
Uh-oh.
I think we are suffering from arrested development.
Okay.
Because we have a lot of trinkets that make us believe that we are somehow advanced, and we are not. You know,
Mm.
um,
Really
there's
quickly,
little
when you say
interest.
y'all have a lot of trinkets that make y'all feel like y'all are advanced, what do you mean by that?
I mean, the fact that we were not born in apartheid makes us believe that we are somehow advanced, and we are not. You know, we
Okay.
are not. So there's an ongoing commission in my country into corruption. It's old people stealing money from government departments and all of that. And in all of that, there's no involvement of youth. There's no interest. There's no involvement. The youth doesn't essentially give a fuck. You know, we are busy focusing on sports. You know, having fun, partying, having sex. We're not interested in the progression of the struggle. We don't even understand what's going on, man. To be quite honest with you,
Mhm.
and yeah, man, I just think our generation, man, is lost, bro. It's lost, and we're gonna realize this maybe in the next 15 years when we become, the elders. That we've been sleeping on ourselves, and we are not working towards what we should be working on. So
Mhm.
yeah, arrested development, I think, yeah, describes what's happening.
Gotcha. All right. So I will throw it to everybody. This will be the last question, and we'll land on a political statement. Yeah, I think that we could probably actually have like this millennial in comparison to previous generation conversation on a lot of factions and like social concepts that we have. Like we didn't touch really on moral compass or religion or really we tiptoed around family structure and finances, but we can do a little bit more of like a deep dive. And I think almost a lot of these statements have its own specific tree of conversation to go into, but right now I will go into the activist lane, and there's memes, there's t-shirts, there's a bunch of yeah, we'll just say those things where there's phrases that are based around I am not my ancestor, right? I am not
Who,
my
who, who,
ancestors.
who is that? A white phrase or a black phrase?
Nah, this
No,
is
it's a
black.
black phrase, bro. You don't
Yeah,
you don't know that?
has everybody else seen and heard that? Yeah, Johnny. Yeah. I'm
You
about to say,
haven't
like
heard that?
this is very
It,
very popular.
it's a co-opted phrase. Everybody's saying it now.
Who's
All right, so
saying I'm
yeah,
not my
I
ancestors?
imagine
No,
it
no,
maybe
no,
it's co-opted, but this is
Is that a
a
black
very,
thing?
very
Talking about, they're talking
yes.
about the
It
slave.
started
Yeah,
off as a black thing.
yeah.
Yes.
So niggas are walking around promoting saying I'm not my ancestor to say
Yes,
what?
and
The entire
You ain't gonna do
the
us like
entire
say
that.
that,
phrase.
like
Well,
typically what it
the
means
entire
is
phrase
that
is
hold on, let me answer him really quickly. Typically this is in reference to like the non-violent shit, and it's, a lot of times it'd be like an image of like Martin Luther King or anything like that, and it's saying I am not my ancestors, I'll throw hands, or I'll beat your ass, or
I'll fuck
I'll
you
stand
up.
up for
Yeah,
white
yeah,
supremacy, or I
yeah,
will do these things. But it is
yeah.
very very popular to say like I am not my ancestor. Like this is a very common popular phrase within like the ecosystem.
But it's
And
been,
Nah, that
hold
shit
on,
not even
let me
that
ask you
real
a
quick. So let
question.
me say this: it's been used both ways. So it's been used as people
So
who
man,
are
you're about to get to what my question is. Just let me ask
okay.
the question, now, and I'll throw to you first. I am not my ancestors. Is that an insult or a compliment? Oh man,
Depends on who's saying it, and like I was saying, it's been used both ways.
millennial generation, them saying it.
The who?
Millennial
So
generation.
I'm not talking about millennials. So it started off like you were talking about, like black people saying, "I'm not my ancestors, I'll throw hands," stuff. But then you have other people who are non-black saying,
All right, so speaking
okay,
specifically to
but
just
wait,
black
let
people.
me get this out. Also saying
Okay.
that, also telling black people that they're not their ancestors,
Okay.
meaning that they won't protest. They won't. It's a ploy to get black people involved in other people's ish. So that's how it's being used both ways. That's all I wanted to explain.
I haven't
Gotcha,
heard it
gotcha.
used that way. I haven't heard it
I
used that
personally
way.
haven't, but like
But
I'm
I
also
can't
not
speak to
familiar
old
I'll
with
man's
say,
it being used
experience.
I'll say, I don't think it's necessarily an insult to say that we're not our ancestors. Uh, it's not a compliment. It's not a compliment, but I think it acknowledges the fact that we are different, and that like
Nah, bro.
things that that especially like when it comes like the Martin Luther
And
King
what in
and
which way
recent.
do you think that like currently we are not our ancestors in a positive way?
I think we do speak out more than our ancestors.
In what
Certainly,
way?
Nah,
You think we speak out more
nah,
today?
I think we're
Now,
more
like in
vocal.
comparison to
nah.
like them actually marching and protesting and getting their ass beat at lunchtime because
Sit-ins,
they
bit by
wasn't supposed to be at
dogs,
school.
hot
Man,
Bro,
hoses.
niggas
Okay,
get a
now
job
I'll go.
and they go to
Okay,
their job and take their bass out their voice. They
Right, right.
ain't doing nothing.
okay, no,
they
I'm
be
wrong. I'm wrong.
shaving,
I'm wrong. But I
looking
don't think
all
it's an
clean,
insult.
bro.
I don't
Right,
think
Like,
it's
right.
a, I don't
get
I
it,
don't
kid.
think it's an insult. I don't think they mean it as an insult though. I don't think the
How
people
are they
say it.
meaning it? So how is it not? So what are they talking about that wouldn't be insulting? Like what would they
Exactly.
mean by that that wouldn't be insulting to what those people
It's
did?
like that's like wearing a shirt saying we not from Rock Hill.
My kids wouldn't be. But
Hey,
oh,
hey,
but like
hey, now,
I mean hey, you done got but I
Johnny,
mean
Johnny, Johnny.
I understand. No, hold on. I understand like and I mean I get I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Bro, you
I'm
got
wrong.
Johnny. My boy Johnny was starting the car right then, boy.
I'm wrong. I didn't initially look at it as an insult. I've never
It
took that as
is.
an insult.
It
But
is.
I
Can
mean,
I?
I guess it is.
Bro, it is an insult, bro. First of all, like this generation is weak as fuck, bro. To start with, Steve is right. When we get jobs, we be taking our bass out of our voices. We shave. We want to look clean. Our women wear weaves. They want to look white. Um,
I don't know.
in America, you
I
have
gotta
snow
get that
bunny
beard oil.
crisis. Marrying white women like nobody's business. And then you talk about we not that well, Q. The entire phrase is we not our ancestors. We will fuck you up. That's the entire phrase. We not our ancestors. We will fuck
Yeah,
you
a
up.
lot of
And
times
like,
it does accompany that
yeah, I'm
sometimes.
asking myself,
I have seen it
who,
with that.
Okay, hey,
who
can I finish my point
But
though?
I also
Because
see like I'm not my ancestors. Dot dot dot. But
like
yeah, yeah,
I
like
have seen it. What you say?
I think it goes to like because
exactly.
have you saw the Alabama brawl? They got a movie out about it. And like I think it comes to like the fighting back on that aspect where like we weren't
Why?
You don't
able
think
to
niggas
do
was
that
fighting
back
Our
then.
back?
That's the
ancestors
thing.
fought back.
Why do you think that Assata
That's
Shakur had to
always.
be in Cuba, Johnny?
You don't
I'm
think niggas
saying,
was
but
fighting?
Why do you
they
think
got, but they.
Assata Shakur had to
I
be
didn't say
in
they
Cuba?
didn't fight back. They fought back in Alabama, and the consequences were very minimal because they were able. But I think that's what they're saying. They are defending themselves like that's all I'm saying. Like, but
Like,
Johnny, didn't you say your granddaddy them went down there with them shotguns at that white man? So how can
yeah,
that be
right,
weak?
yeah,
I
right.
didn't say they
Like,
were weak. I
bro,
never
like
said
ain't
they
no
were. I didn't
niggas in
say
our
they were weak.
nigga in our
I never
generation.
said they were weak. I didn't
You
say I'm
said
not my
granddaddy.
ancestor.
You
No,
said
I
no, all
said
right.
I
granddaddy
don't
fought.
necessarily think it's
Johnny,
an
I don't agree with that
ancestor.
part.
So Johnny,
You don't like on that part.
let's stay. That's a great point. Let's stay exactly where he's at. So where's the comparable act in our generation compared to your granddaddy and them having the KKK walk down a street and then pull up with the
bro,
shotguns? What's the comparable act?
bro.
How is it not disrespectful to be like, I'm not my ancestors. I'll do something when your people was outside with the
What do you mean?
KKK with shotguns.
The
Well,
comparable, the
The dot
comparable.
dot dot. Like I mean, if you put the other side, will fuck you up. I do think that is more. But the
No matter,
dot dot
even if you
dot,
don't put the
I
dot
think
dot
that's
dot.
not necessarily.
If you mean anything other than I'm not my ancestors, them niggas really did this shit, I think it's disrespectful at what
It is.
the internet culture is doing to activism right now.
Y'all
And
should go read Johnny. Go read Negroes with Guns and read up on the Deacons of Defense. Ain't no black people moving like them. We got a misremembering of the civil rights movement.
I'm
What
never
Yes,
I'm
told
there
something
was
saying,
a
about my
no, no,
granddaddy. I'm just
that's
saying I
what I'm.
didn't think it
Yeah,
was insulting.
all
But
these
like
new
I get it.
booties, Gen
We're not the
Zs, and
same.
some millennials, they don't know history.
we got
They
a
don't know.
misremembering of the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King was an element, but the Black Panthers is an element. Kwame Ture is an element.
Mhm.
yep.
Fred Hampton is an element. Asada Shakur is an element. It's not just King. And the only reason King is a viable, in my opinion, without the threat of those more, what your people would say, extreme actions, the establishment don't take King serious if those people not around. Because
Mm,
they more afraid of those people. They more afraid of the X and the type of, you know, the black messiah,
Yeah,
mythology and all that stuff around that. Like that stuff was very much alive and well. And it's like, yeah, people don't read, bro. They think they would have been on the slave plantation, yes, a master, and we still be in slavery.
man, niggas don't even want to work
I think
hard labor.
yeah, bro. I think
Niggas don't even want
this
to like fight
generation.
with their hands. Like I ain't
Yeah,
rolling
yeah,
with it.
yeah. I think this
So hey,
generation
can I
is
ask a
way too
question?
comfortable, man. Before you do that, Johnny. I think we're way too comfortable. There's also another phrase, Q, that also goes with that. So is I will fuck you up. I mean, we're not our ancestors. Will fuck you up. And there's also another one that we are living our ancestors' wildest dream. And they would be
Okay.
saying that right after getting a job from a European corporation, maybe getting a job at Mercedes Benz or BMW, and they'll take a caption saying, "We are our
Who,
ancestors' wildest dream." I'm
who's
like,
saying this?
your answer,
Because
bro.
Black
They be saying
Americans
this
ain't saying
shit,
that.
bro.
Yeah,
Black
yeah.
They
Americans.
be saying this
Hey,
shit, and
can I ask my question?
you.
Can I ask my
I'm like,
question?
you
Johnny,
saying
say
yeah,
to
your
his point though,
ancestors.
like, or write this one
Yeah,
No,
down.
yeah, yeah.
no. Okay,
All
I'm
right,
about to.
if
You
you agree
saying
with
you are.
me,
Yeah,
Yeah,
because my
you're
thing
saying
is like
your ancestors.
when you're saying that, do you think?
Johnny, let him finish.
it's a
Johnny,
time lag,
damn.
fellas. It's a time lag.
I couldn't hear.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
my bad.
yeah. It's a time lag.
Yeah, you
That's
know
the
he got a
issue.
2 second delay. Come on, buddy.
Yeah, yeah, I'm saying you're saying you are your ancestors' wildest dream because you got a job at Mercedes Benz, which is a company that came to take stuff from your people, and you look at that as some sort of an advancement from you and your ancestors. That's a fucking insult, bro. You didn't build shit. You're just a happy ass, comfortable um slave. It's like this generation is lost, bro. It's lost. These phrases are crazy. These are crazy phrases, bro.
Go ahead,
I-
Johnny.
I-
Go ahead, Johnny.
and I would add like, especially when you add the wildest dreams part. do you think that is being disrespectful? Because there are things that our generation has did, like vote for a black president and stuff that, like, even my parents, like in their wildest dreams, they were like, "Oh my God, like we
Barack
weren't able to do
Obama,
this." And there are things that our generation has
Johnny,
done that has made those people proud. And
Johnny.
I don't necessarily, I do
Another thing,
agree. And let me finish. I'm just saying I do agree that, like, we're not the same as our ancestors, and they've done a lot more. Life was way harder. But when I've ever heard that statement, I never took it as
yeah,
immediate, like, just insult. I think it takes it as like,
it is.
we are
It is
different. We are fighting a
Obama's.
different fight, and we've done things in our generation, I think, to be proud of too. And I think
Nah,
that's what it speaks to more.
He said no.
Obama's
Damn.
presidency was a
Hey,
curse to Black
and you ain't vote
America.
for Obama, nigga. I voted for Obama. Like, this
And
is
I'm
that
just
made my
saying,
granny
dog.
proud.
Like,
Like,
you
that
look
made
at
my granny proud.
you look at all human index before 2008, before he became president, and after he left, things were worse
But
than
it's about voting
before he
for a
came
black
into
president.
office.
Like, my granny and them thought they would be able to do that.
Well, we voted.
Yeah,
I
but
We
but
it
voted
was
for
but
so
but
the first two people I voted for was a black
not
man,
me,
and I
but
think that's
my
amazing
parents.
coming from, like,
We've
our
had
ancestors.
opportunities to vote
We
for
we
black
had we
presidents.
had black people run for president before Obama.
Yeah,
I'm
we
Now
talking
had
about
you
voting
had
for
Yeah,
the.
y'all
Reagan.
just
I'm
You
talking
wanted
had
to
about
be
voting
a
for somebody
mulatto.
and they
That's all
won.
that
Reagan
was.
ran
I'm
in
talking about
'70.
voting for a winning president. The first two
That's
times I
all
ever
that
voted,
was,
it
man.
was a black man and he
Negroes just
won.
wanted to
And
be
I
a
think that
mulatto.
made
That's
it. I
it.
think that's
But
something that
it
would have
did
made our
nothing,
ancestors
Johnny.
proud. Okay.
So if you compare Obama with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, Malcolm X and King, without being president, had more effect on black people's progression than Obama being in office.
You
So
couldn't
it
tell
makes
my granny
absolute
that
no
though.
sense to
My
celebrate.
granny thought Obama
Yeah.
was the
All
man.
right.
Like he had him up there with Martin Luther King. You couldn't tell my
So,
granny though.
I
so
don't know who thought
all right.
Obama
So
was
Hey,
the
Johnny,
man.
you said
fellas.
that shit hard as hell. You said
I
you couldn't tell
know.
my granny
She
that though.
I
she had the
know.
poster.
Yeah.
She fucked with, like, she
So,
thought
so Kamu,
that made her
I
so
think that
happy
this.
and so proud to
Bro,
be
my
black.
So
grandma got the
Kamu, I think that
damn
this will probably be
Obama
the
Michelle
best
dolls.
perspective that I can give you inside the conversation. I think that
He
when
said they
people
got the
say that,
dog.
Yeah, they
they're
got
not
my grandma had
speaking
the dolls.
explicitly towards the idea of the modern black person in comparison to the 60s, 70s, 80s. I think that when they say I am my ancestors' wildest dreams, it's not as recent as that. What it is more so pushed off into like slavery, and where like I am now this person that's doing XYZ. My ancestors couldn't have dreamt of that when they was inside, bondage in the cotton fields XYZ. And I think that if I'm giving like as best faith of the statement what it means, I think that that's explicitly what it means. Whether it's Obama, quote unquote, winning presidency, I know, listen, inside middle of the road / conservative black spaces, Obama is a cuss word. I
Yeah,
get it.
Yeah,
I
I'm talking
get
about
it.
at the
But
time that was crazy though. At
it's
the
but
But
also
time.
even
relative
conservative
too.
blacks voted for Obama.
It's
Conservative blacks voted
I
for
know
Obama.
And niggas
Steve,
was
I'm talking about
dancing in the
I'm talking
street
about
when
in
he won.
2025. Like right
Oh,
now, Obama's
2025, yeah.
yeah, it's a cuss
Oh,
word. It's a cuss word.
Obama, Obama is
Obama's a cuss
persona non
word now.
grata
Yeah,
2025.
yeah.
the statement too is also relative because like you look at a
I
nigga
went
like
back in
VJ Edgecombe who grew up on a generator
Big dog.
and
Yeah.
and now he playing in the NBA.
DJ
It's like,
Max.
bro, sometimes like if you just grow up without running water and now you got running water, you gonna say like, dang boy, my such and such wouldn't believe that I got clean running water. If you the first one to have it in your
No,
whole
but the thing is that
generation,
like
I'm being
what
real.
G is saying is very, very true, and that's why like I get it, and this is why like sometimes I be trying to steer you just to South Africa. I think that like there is certain things in which like depending on where you come from, how about this would be the best way I could put it. In America, in general, on average, I think it's maybe at like 80%. The class that you grow up in is the class that you end in. This is just like what it is in general. Like the idea of an hierarchy in the American dream is a fallacy. To break out of that mold in itself would speak to the idea that me and my people didn't have to be at the same bus stop that my parents and grandparents all had to be at. And that in itself, going from sharecropper to somebody that is, like what did you say? I don't know, at Mercedes Benz. That is something that a lot of black people in 1910 couldn't have dreamt about.
And Q, going from a parent who had to punch the clock for every hour to get a piece of work, that then all of a sudden have a job where you working from home, mama be happy. He's like, damn, boy, you killing
Doing this
Doing
shit.
you
that
doing
shit.
it, boy. You out here working from
But
home, doing whatever. Hey, I'm just saying,
but but
you gotta appreciate it.
the key thing is
It
this
should
right here,
it
though.
should have been
If
said
you
like
add,
I'm the
if
result of
you
my ancestors' work. That's what it
if
should say.
you
Yeah, I agree.
Might
I
be
don't
a
think it's the
great
you
best wording.
should
I don't think it's the
might be
And,
a
best
and
great
wording,
let's
but
go to Unc real quick. Let's go to Unc. It sound like it's a bunch of people trying to talk. Let's go Unc then Johnny.
this is how I feel. You should be doing better than your parents did, and your
Mhm.
kids should be doing better than you. The way it is that if your kids are not doing better than you or sitting at the same level you did, you failed at parenting.
Mhm.
You should always you should, that's the way it goes. It should always be a step ahead, a step ahead, a step ahead. You know, it's always that's the way you should raise your children. You should raise your children to want more and get more. Because you just because you struggle don't mean you want your kids to struggle. You never want to see them do that, and it's something that you shouldn't. And you should be doing better than your parents. If not, if you're not doing, you know what I'm saying. I know some people, you know what I'm saying, look at it differently, but you should never be doing the equivalency of the same as your parents because, like, you know, the bus stop thing.
Mhm.
That's not right. That's wrong. You wronged your children. You did. You did wrong by them. If your children are not doing better than you, you did wrong by them. That's not their fault. You were bad parents. That's how I see
and I do agree, and I think, and I think the wording on it might be, I'm not my ancestors, I'll fuck you up. The insinuation of that, but anytime I've ever seen that, it's usually when like a white dude calls somebody the N word and get punched in his face, and they'll do it, and then I'm living the wildest dreams. Like when I see that, I don't necessarily think like as insulting. I could see how it can be taken. I would never want to insult the ancestors or take anything away from them because their struggle was immense, and like
So
we can't compare what we do to them as far as how hard it is, but it is a different struggle and it's still a struggle for us. And I think they would be very proud of some of the progress
no
and the
no no
things that we have done as
no no
our as millennials. A
Yeah,
lot
and
of us are
Kamo,
no no no. Johnny,
Kamo, I'm gonna throw to you. So I would just say there's a space of being an outsider and not being within the American like system to where you might look at it differently than like the understanding as being a on the ground American. And it's not like this specific like statement where I would just relate it to you right now. If well, I guess it's not. It's harder to do that because of like y'all had. Yeah, better yet, like during apartheid. During apartheid, at its worst moment, right now, whatever you're doing is probably something that your ancestors would be proud and happy and amazed at. I think like you're okay. All right.
so let me give you a quick breakdown. So when you say we are our ancestors' wildest dream, it comes from a point of not understanding your history and understanding your people. So let me in South Africa, we had apartheid just now in 1948. Before
Mhm.
then, in 1910, we had the Union of South Africa. Before the Union of South Africa, in the 1800s, it was just a bunch of states, and in those states, black people were doing well, bro. We were doing well. We had banks.
Now, and then
We had
juxtapose
everything.
now,
We were doing well.
Kamu, pause.
And
Juxtapose that to the black man's beginning in this country, because this is where the disconnect is because you just illustrated that a time before apartheid. We can't talk about a time before slavery as it relates to ancestry and what we were doing. Like most of us
no, but
can't do that at all.
yeah, in America maybe, but also,
That's what we're saying.
G,
Yeah, yeah.
but also
When the
G,
statement is being
but
made, it's
also,
speaking about American based.
G, there's a context to that. There are Black Americans who understand that before, let's say 1619, there were Black people who were circumventing to America to
Yeah,
trade
but
and
they
stuff
don't
like
know
that.
what the fuck
So
who was who.
yeah,
They
but there
don't know.
are
They don't know that.
exactly my point.
They don't know
Yeah,
who was who. They don't know what to
but
really.
yeah, but I
Camu,
say
they don't
Camu,
even
like
know.
they're
They don't even
not
know how
making a
many of their
statement to them.
ancestors are actually black versus white. Like
No, 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 no,
niggas
no, no,
who
no.
come off a plantation can't even tell you in what year 1619. Like that niggas shit so dilated
Exactly.
And
or
those
This this
diluted.
is
DNA
why I said
tests.
this. This is why I said before, like we make this statement devoid of understanding our history. People don't understand that before 1619, most of black people were doing well for themselves. They were in charge of their destiny. And if you were to compare that to what you have today,
We
it's
ain't
a
talking about
joke. You
those
can't.
ancestors
You were
though.
doing well at that time. So
I'm
for
gonna be
you to
honest.
make
I
that
don't
Like,
know what
statement
I
just
was
off of
doing
the
before
understanding,
We trying to
I'm,
1619.
I'm gonna be honest. Like,
look
what
up
I'm
these
telling you
ancestors.
now,
I have no clue who
what
was
I'm
doing
telling you
well
now,
in the
well, I'm
1600s.
telling you now,
Camu,
black people were
Camu, I'm
doing
gonna
well.
be
So
honest.
to
Like,
take that statement, no, 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 okay,
if
can I
I have
finish?
to have
To
the
take,
internet in 2025 in comparison to whatever anybody in any country was doing in 1619, I'm taking me in America in the internet and air conditioning. Do you know how cold it can get at night here? I'm not listen.
Bro,
I'm taking air conditioning and the
I
fact
need
that
that.
I
I
can
need
talk
that
to you right
AccuWeather.
look,
now
Q,
in
Q,
South
Q.
Carolina.
I think
I don't think that they could have even fathomed this shit.
my
Let's be
nigga,
I
real.
understand.
imagine
FaceTime?
what they
I
would think about
understand
a
that.
grocery
I just saw my
store.
grand
Nigga,
my
FaceTime.
great granny
what? Y'all
FaceTime.
got
They
grocery
Like
stores? Y'all can
they
go
Look,
buy
listen,
listen.
food.
It used to
Like,
be so hot.
like we
It used to
live
be
in the
so hot
future.
that people would sleep outside.
bro. Listen,
It
I
would
can
be
No, no,
so
no.
pop
hot.
my
I
wife right
understand.
now and
Look,
she not get pregnant.
Even
Back
this shit
then,
we
like,
doing
look.
right
I
here is
understand.
some futuristic
No,
shit.
no, 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 no. Guys, don't misconstrue the
That's
progression
fine.
of
I mean, you
human
could have did that shit
development
back in the day too.
with don't misconstrue the progression of human development with the anatomy and the control of your resources. I'm saying before then, if you had understood that you had control over doing business, over your body, you have control over everything, every aspect of your life, you had control. So this statement comes off of
I don't know
right,
that
slavery
to be
and maybe
true.
but
Jim
see,
I
Crow,
see,
don't.
see
I
and
now,
don't.
the
It's
I
reason
speaking.
you
don't
It's
don't
know
get
speaking
that to
about
be true.
specific
I don't know
no,
that to be
though.
true.
yeah, but I'd say I'm going with G. Like, so what you're talking about, and maybe you can research it to be true in South Africa. If we are
Miami.
Americans
I
that
can't
were
even
brought
tell you
over
where
here
my
in
niggas come
slavery,
from.
right now we would be speaking about like more of a Western, Northern Western specific area in which we don't and can't speak to explicitly that even inside with whichever tribal region in area that we were in, that we had those things that you're saying. So
I
like
can
now
I can
we're
give you
getting
a
into
quick
fantasy.
reference now.
Like
Okay,
I'm
I
not
can give
interested
you a
in
quick
fantasy, man.
reference.
I
They
can also
said,
say that
"Fuck
I
y'all's
think that the
American shit."
American quality of life, if I had to choose to ever live in another time, I'm choosing right now in America.
And
Easy.
Camus, I
No
think
Well,
you
question.
talking about something on a deeper. When you saying we're
Yeah,
not
you
your
smell like on the
ancestors,
economic control level.
you thinking something more deeper from a self determination political framework
exactly.
versus where people who saying it in America, they typically just saying it as it relates to like the actual material condition,
Mhm.
not the actual grander mindset or self-determination that the black community have. And I think that's where the disconnect is. Like I don't really think
Great
people
way to
being
sum it up.
disrespectful when they say I'm my ancestors' wildest dream. Cause I think
Y'all
they
did it
keeping it in
first.
this very material, lane. Versus when they say, what's the other phrase?
Um, I'm not my
We
ancestors.
know
When
that
they
our
say that I'm
ancestors.
not my ancestors phrase, now that's just a misunderstanding of
Yeah,
history, and that's dismissive of actually how radical your ancestors were. Like
To be
I
honest,
got much more grace for the I'm my ancestors' wildest dream. I ain't got no grace for
to
the
be honest, I'll
yeah,
be
this is a
honest with
fact.
you. I think people who have the right to use that phrase are Chinese people. They have the right to say we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. With what
They
they're
still look
doing,
like
bro,
their
like
ancestors.
conquering and doing all this shit, they have the right, bro. We don't.
Why?
Black
What they
people all over
conquering?
the
Conquer.
world
All
Africa
right, so
don't have
and bought
Kamu,
up
any
all
li-
of
right
listen,
to use
Africa.
Kamu,
that phrase, bro.
this is where
You
like
just
you
trade
trying to
one
force us.
imperial. You just trade one
You
imperialist for
trying to
another.
force us to be FBA right now, and that's not like this thing right here. You would
You
only
just
be
want to
saying
kiss the
that because of like
Chinaman's
what you're
ring.
doing in your homeland right
You
now.
like
But
wontons and
like,
shit. You just want to kiss the
and
Chinaman's ring.
I
but yeah,
also
like
think
nobody would say that outside of it.
Fortune cookie shit.
what your real beef is, Camus, is with liberal blacks when they use that phrase, I'm my ancestors' wildest dreams, and then what they referencing. So they referencing shit like they work at I don't know, for some white dude or whatever, and they saying that's their ancestors. I think that's really your issue, because I do see that more used in like liberal black, like this stuff y'all talking about is a very black liberal.
So Steve, give me an example of a black person that's liberal that is used that, so I can give like
I mean, the HBCU types, prime example, like the Howard types, the Hampton types, the.
But like what are they doing to say that? Like if you're at an HBCU homecoming and like you're doing I think that's a fair space to say that. Like you surrounded around black kids.
But again, I said I do have more.
That's a big deal.
But I said I do have more. I have more. I can understand. I can understand that I'm my ancestors' wildest dream. I don't think that's disrespectful. That's where I'm. But I think his gripe is.
Get you to argue for Camus.
I think Camus' gripe with it is what people is considering their ancestors' wildest dreams is something very empty, and they not is he thinking your ancestors' wildest dream should really be something held in high esteem.
It should be Wakanda.
Exactly, you're way too far to say that, bro. Like your understanding,
it's a language barrier, y'all. So I did the translation for him. He think when you say your ancestors' wildest dreams, it should really be something like
too literal. He being too literal.
Exactly.
With the phrase.
We're doing the things our ancestors couldn't imagine.
You know, black folks, we just
fellas. Let me hop in really quickly, and we done made it to 316. Shout out to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I was gonna say shout out to John, but
yeah, I know. Shout out to John too. Johnny J Rock 989. But say not to stay. We'll continue this inside the after show. But again, this has been a fire episode of Unpacked. Like I said, I think we got a series that we can kind of cook into a little bit. But y'all know him. This is G, host of the G-ish podcast. G Axis Media. You see what I did there, old man? But Johnny, 1/3 of the To Be Fair show, the host of the To Be Fair show, Camus, fresh off of you put the razor in the comb shape up. He cut his hair. You see it. They saying it's a mohawk. I don't know what that
mohawk is.
It could be anything.
It ain't a mohawk. The generator just went out when he was cutting mid-cut.
It could be anything. I think
I know mohawks. I know mohawks is not an African style, but I ain't gonna say nothing.
But I will say
is that hairstyle on you too. Damn.
No, mohawk is tribal.
What I would say is that
all of them.
In the Discord, they were talking about all natural hairstyles, and Camus, he's pulled up with one. Old man, fresh off the immigration train. Listen, Cali, I understand it. The borders is right there. And so he's gonna make sure that he keeps us updated on what the standings and how
borders in California.
In California, that's not Mexico.
It ain't no borders, buddy. People be walking over here like it's nothing.
Oh damn! I thought Trump was doing something. Man. Damn. Okay, this is news.
They crip walking over that line.
Said Tijuana, South California.
Yeah,
they got states called. They got towns called Mexicali, Mexico. They bordering towns. It ain't no border, dude.
Oh damn! All right, I'm quiet then. Unc. Straight out of it sounds like Unc is claiming Rock Hill. We can't disrespect Rock Hill no more.
803 boy.
All Rock Hillians, they don't like white women. Unc he's
that is a lie.
He's free of that disease. He is free of that disease. And what it is native Rock Hillians. But shout out to Unc. Unc has pulled up, gave us a lot of knowledge. And Steve, Black, you seen what he did? That's a challenge. He said every time you pull up here without your nipples out, he's coming on the next episode with the actual face for at least 5 to 10 seconds. But nonetheless, fellas, this has been fun. This has pause. I'll take it. Pause. Also, that's also another pause. But let me get out of here, guys. This has been Unpacked. It is later than it needs to be, and again, shout out to the Discord. Shout out to anybody that has
Say
tapped.
bye. Say
Shout
bye.
out- What'd he say?
He
Say
said, say
bye.
bye.
Oh, say, oh man, I'm just trying to wrap it up properly. Shout out to everybody that has
Marathon
tuned
outro.
in. Make sure that
Not
you
the show.
again like, comment, subscribe on both channels, and like that, we are out. Peace.